Probably a good weekend, you know what I'm saying? Father's Day. You know, it's a great thing. It's a blessing. But you already know, I'm here for these Democrats. Have to wake these guys up. At least try my best. See what's going on, the hypocrisy. But this is a pastor from some Sunday, I guess. He was preaching about how the black liberals and Kevin Anthony supporters, need to wake up. Stop falling for the okie doke. Everything that about color. Let's get it.
To make you hate it. Why do you hate your president? Dislike some of the things he do? I definitely dislike some of the things he does. He's wild. But I just can't, I just refuse to disobey my Bible.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today. We have to check out a piece of this sermon by G. Craig Lewis of X Ministries. The fatigue is real. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. I've spent my life warning the church that this was going to happen. And now, black, Christian black, and witchcraft black is all intertwined. It's all mixed. It's mixed. I guarantee you this morning, black preachers are getting up preaching on the side of the witches, on the side of hate. I don't have to talk about this case because the case has been settled.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
But he murdered somebody. So the lady talking about, I got 5 boys, what do I tell them? You tell them, don't take knives to high school events.
That's it.
What you tell them. Yeah. You tell them what Jesus said. Turn the other cheek. De-escalate.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning.
Have anybody in there had to de-escalate a situation because they're saved and filled with the Holy Ghost power of God? So you had to make a decision in the heat of the moment. I'm not ruining my life. That's what we do. I can't give you the Yoruba way of doing it. I can't give you the witchcraft way. I can't give you the racist Negro way. All I know is the way God tells me to handle things. So all I can give you today is a message about what God says. Amen?
Amen.
Witchcraft has overtaken the
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Period.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
witch will tell you that they're winning.
Hope everybody had a good weekend. Blessings to everybody, That's what we need. We need blessings. We need unity. So hope this weekend everybody came together, had some good times with their family and friends and unity, And prayers for everybody else that's out there that's struggling. But yeah, this past I want to break down how, the black community is just America, period. The world needs to wake up. It's not about race. It's about accountability. And let this victimhood go. Let it go. We're not victims, period. And we all free. We free because of God, period. We're all God's children. We're not sold. We're not sellouts. We're not no coons. We are all one human race. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. But this whole Juneteenth thing makes no sense at all. And it's crazy how Joe Biden, the president, he pushed it out. Because nobody even knew about Juneteenth, period. And here we are. Let's go ahead and continue.
With black people. They believe that they are controlling most of the black churches because they're being pastored by Masons, those that have pledged, and those that have consulted mediums to grow their ministries. Ancestral worship, voodoo, Yoruba, Santeria, however you want to say it, and other forms of satanic power has made our people angry, hateful, vengeful, and even murderously evil. 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, y'all believe these are the latter times? Some shall depart, but they're not going to just leave the faith. The reason they're leaving the faith is because they're going to open themselves up to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. I believe he's talking about what I'm just talked about. They're going to open themselves up to systems that will control what they're able to preach and say. When you see people wishing death, wanting people dead, celebrating death, you know, some of them went out and urinated on this boy's grave.
That's insane, man. He's the victim, but yet they gonna try to paint a picture of him being a bully. There's nothing out there saying he was a bully. All he did was ask Anthony to go ahead and lead the tent. And Anthony stabbed the man. The man had plenty of time to walk away from the situation, but he had time to go into his bag. And by him having that time to go into his bag, he could have walked away, but he chose to stab the man. Come on, y'all. It's murder.
Yeah. In line to do it. Women and men. Black ones. The crazy thing is, few of those folks you saw were paid actors. They're paid actors. Paid to stir.
Yeah, most of these people just protesting, they all paid.
Up.
Literally, they paid.
Mad about something that don't have
They got no
nothing to do with
jobs. They got what they were on EBT. You know what I'm saying? They on that Snapchat. They getting paid by the government both ways to go out here and act an ass and to, you know what I'm saying, get the free stuff. That's crazy.
Line them up.
Too much free time these people got. They should be at
Where
work.
are your kids? Show them to us.
Right, what up, black guy 9?
Show.
And the saying how they keep on board against their own entrance. The party never switched. I understand how y'all people don't understand it. It's Democrat. It's the same name from the beginning, same thing now. Same people, same tactics. You know, I just want people to come together and wake up. Wake up, wake up. And just this weekend, I got a chance to watch that movie, They Live. And it's amazing how they got the movie out now around this time, because people need to watch that movie, because there's a great message behind it. On the real, we got to come together, man, and wake up. Wake up. And there's another thing, another movie I just got to watch this weekend was the Lion King. And I remember how Simba was, mourning of his father's loss, and Rafiki's like, your father's still alive. Simba looking like, what you mean he's still alive? So Rafiki, took him, on a little journey, and I'm going to the water, and he looked in the water and saw himself. He's like, that's not my father, that's me. He's like, look deeper. And he's right, look deeper. And you will see our true selves. You will see God, because God is in us. And that made a lot of sense. And I wish Disney stick to those back in the day stories that they had. So all this woke stuff. That was a good message. God is in us. All we gotta do is just wake up and see that. And we're gonna do better. Because other than that, all this division we got going on, hating this person over there, we having a war for this. This person had a war. Obama had a war. Every president had a war. Soon Trump does it. Oh, he said no wars. Remember that promise he said? And this been going on for 47 years. So it has to happen. On the real. As soon as the Black Messiah Obama does everything, it's cool. No. That's not right, man. Hypocrisy when it comes to the Democrat Party. Every time. Hypocrisy. Everybody keep falling for it. Over 70 years, keep voting for the Democrat Party, and they want some change to happen. You keep voting for the same stupid shit. especially based on color, to the facts. What's their real policies about? We'll line up. Yep, let's go. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Deunta.
To us. Show us your fruit.
Yeah, gay
The
rights.
Bible said we will know them.
Yes.
Can I preach in here?
Yes.
Somebody ain't coming back. And that's great.
What up, Deshaun? What's up? What's up? And you guys, you got the Chicago conservative, unfiltered. My man Deshaun in the chat. I'm gonna show you his channel right quick. Let's see. Let's do that first. Yep. But it's my man Deshaun's channel right here in the chat. That's him right here, you guys. He be letting Brandon Johnson and the governor have it in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. He be breaking it down, man. Brandon Johnson too woke, destroying Chicago. But let's get it.
When you see people wishing death, wanting people dead, celebrating death, and wishing harm. One lady said, I wish both brothers had died. You heard her. And then the Black Panther lady, oh hush, we don't want to hear about what we doing to
I would like to be on there. Come on, me? Yeah, I would like to.
To us. Huh?
I'm down. I'm down. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Deshaun. Appreciate that. Sending it now. Okay.
This in Frisco. Wishing harm on others. They are expressing, whenever you see people wishing death, wanting people dead, celebrating death, wishing harm on others, they are expressing a demonic presence that is in them. Okay? So when somebody is wishing death, wanting death, totally ignoring that this boy died.
And also, I've always seen people praying for Donald Trump all the time in the White House, you know what I'm saying? Outside the White House. I rarely ain't seen anybody praying for Joe Biden or Obama. Trump always got people praying over him. It doesn't matter what color they are, they praying for this man. They praying with him. And he's right with that. And that's what we need, prayer. On the real.
You more concerned about the living boy and you could care less who he killed. There's a demonic presence involved. Shifting your perspective. Skewing your thought process. Amen. Black.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. All right. Let's do it.
Members, you in here? Okay. I don't want to just hear the white ones, amen. And white ones, you amen. Amen. You know, I don't have to watch TV, watch an event, and pick a side. Look, somebody don't even know what I just said. I don't have to. TV ain't gonna make me pick a side. I'll pick a side if it's Landon and Jonathan. Revelations 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is falling, is falling. Why did Babylon the Great fall? And this is talking symbolically of our world in the end times of Revelation. It says, because it became the habitation of what? Devils. A place where devils, people opened themselves up and gave devils a place to live. And it became a hold or a stronghold of every foul spirit. Which foul spirits? All of them. And a cage of how many unclean spirits?
Right, just like a frog. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that frog suit be hot as hell. They out there protesting with it. What are you supposed to represent anyway? They say that frog's supposed to be gay, so you representing the gayness, that's do you. But that's crazy. A frog suit.
Every unclean and hateful bird. That's our world. So-called Christians that wish Trump dead or hate him under the guise of racial or social justice are walking in darkness. First of all, how do you hate somebody you don't know? Second of all, what did he do to make you hate him? Why do you hate your president? Dislike some of the things he do? I definitely dislike some of the things he does. He's wild. But I just can't, I just refuse to disobey my Bible. Somebody will get that later. I'm just not going to be guilty of letting the devil make me hate somebody. I'm not going to be guilty of letting I didn't hate Biden. Thought something was, it was some things. He had a few different costumes. He'd show up in different ways, different heights, all of that. So I knew what they were doing, but I didn't hate the man. I may not have liked his policy, but I wasn't wishing an assassin would get him. I went on the internet after Trump, the attempt on his life, the so-called attempt. I got to say so-called because I really don't believe anything anymore. The more I just don't. I hope no. I just don't believe it. But the attempt, Christians were on their Facebook pages. And I'm not talking about regular Christians. I'm talking about leadership of black churches. Church leaders, bishops, females, what they call the women, missionaries and evangelists, and coming on their page, wishing that they hadn't missed.
Insane, you guys.
Now, there's something wrong. Yes, many so-called Christians, especially black ones, are in the church full of dark spirits that were
insane.
How? Ritualistically placed in them. When you pledge, you go through a ritual. And in that ritual, you open yourself up so that spirits can be placed in you. And those spirits manipulate you emotionally so that they can get to your children and affect the way your children think. Amen. But many of them. 1 John 2:11 says, but he that hateth his brother is in darkness. Is Trump your brother? Who is the folk ain't never coming back? He say he's a Christian. That's what he's saying. So we got to go by what he say. We going by what you say. You ain't all the way where you trying to get. You want grace and mercy. You want us to forgive you for your mistakes. You make errors. Anybody in here errorless? Look at him. Oh, I'm stirring up something over here. Yes. Yeah. You want grace. You want somebody. Well, now, wait a minute.
Right. Burning, looting, mayhem. Black Lives Matter. Yep.
And wait a minute for what? Don't we all need time? Ain't we all growing? Are you the same as you were 10 years ago?
No.
Now, what if we didn't give you time? Yeah. So if that's what he say, that's what he say. So that makes him your brother, so you're supposed to be praying for him. Even if he wasn't your brother, you're supposed to be praying for him because he's in leadership.
Right.
Have you prayed for him? You can't pray for people you hate.
Right. If you don't like the man, pray for the man and do better. What happened to that? You know, that's amazing. This pastor hitting on the nail with it, man.
Stop.
I'm glad you guys stopped by. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for stopping by. The pastor coming with it.
Stop lying. Stop lying. You can't pray for people you hate. You can't do that. You skip over that part. Folk having these conventions and convocations and all of this bull jive, taking up offerings and dressing all up and 16-piece suits and hats look like Yosemite Sam's hat. Walking, everything. Got the Black Heritage Bible. You got all that anointing and you hate somebody? That means that it's not working. That means something else is in you other than the Holy Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit produced the fruits of the Spirit. The very first one is love. So you got something else. He that hateth his brother, the Bible says, you're in darkness. If you hate somebody, you hate the Metcalf family because of a court ruling? Do you know how disturbed you have to be? They were attacking this family's car. You saw it. I showed it to you. Family was unsafe. Had the highest security.
Crazy. Subscribe. You guys haven't already. Subscribe.
And their boy lost his life. Do you see what the devil is doing? Not only are you in darkness if you hate your brother, and not only are you walking in darkness, but you don't know where you're going. Because that darkness hath what? Blinded your eyes. Yeah, you're going to the meeting, you're dressing up, you're looking nice, you're going to church, and you don't even know where you're going. It's darkness. It's blinded your eyes. The BLM, Black Lives Matter, remember them? The ones that made off with all the money? All that money. All that Negro money.
You know, I say white liberal money as well, because large majority of the donors were, white liberals.
Thank you, Lord. I called my mama yesterday.
Again, check out my man, the Chicago Conservative. Check him out. This is his page. He be coming with it, man.
And I was just going in, and she was like, "Ooh, I hope you ain't gonna talk." I said, "Mother, I'm getting it all out. Getting it all out." I named every primate there is. All of them. The ones National Geographic on the phone. I gotta get this out. I don't want none of it to slip out. But the Black Lives Matter has cast a spell upon our whole nation. They conjured specific. Now, y'all remember I told y'all this, right? This is back in 13, I think. Of the Truth Behind Hip Hop, Social Esteem. They conjured specific ancestral spirits.
Go ahead and play this right quick.
Listen, man, this is coming from a guy that's born and raised from the south side of Chicago, bro. Y'all gotta chill out, bro. 35 people shot over Juneteenth weekend, and over 5 people lost their lives on a day that you guys celebrate, that you guys are supposed to be loving each other. You guys are supposed to be showing peace and prosperity to one another. Yet you guys take it among yourselves to shoot each other like fucking dogs, bro. This shit is crazy, man. It's like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's looking like Chicago is cooked. I know y'all want me to run for stuff. I know y'all want me to do a lot of things to give back to the community. But if y'all are gonna continue to fucking shoot each other on a day where black people are supposed to show love to each other, I don't think there's any hope. Y'all are gonna keep trying to.
That victim mentality. There is hope, but they still stuck in the past. Victim.
Blame white people for all of y'all problems, when deep down inside, y'all already know it's you guys. It's black people that's holding black people back. Crabs in the bucket mentality. You agree with that, huh? Okay. We have to call out the crime in our own community as blacks, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only way that this problem is actually going to get fixed. Get rid of the whole, I ain't snitching bullshit, because let's just be honest. Y'all, the ones that saying y'all won't snitch, y'all will definitely snitch if y'all life was on the line. If the cops say you're doing 25 to life, yes, you will snitch. And you don't even know these people. Talking about I'm not going to snitch on somebody you don't even know. This person will potentially kill your kid in the future. What you mean you won't snitch on them?
I'll snitch on
So
you.
like I said, ladies and gentlemen, 35 people shot, 5 dead over Juneteenth. This shit is absolutely ridiculous. It must stop. Don't be dumb. Stay safe.
Amazing. Thank you, bro, for that. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Demons from the flood to our realm with CERN and Yoruba rituals. This has created a new breed of liberal person, liberal people, black people that hate themselves and their lives so much.
But like my man Vashawn just told you guys, man, Chicago, man, there's always somebody down in Chicago. Down there, 30 to 50 people over the weekend shot or died. That's crazy. You can just predict every weekend it's going to happen. And it has. It was a lottery ticket for that. Man, we all be strip rich right now.
That they will spew damnation upon white people, law enforcement, and even the president of our country. So what this spirit does is it manipulates how you feel about yourself and makes you believe that it's someone's fault. That's why they can easily say it's the court's fault that this boy is locked up. No, I don't think so. I think he did something.
That's how we got here. Knife in a backpack. When the backpack had time to think, had time to react, and he chose to do the violent way and stabbed him in cold blood. He had that much time, he could have walked off, ran off. Well, hell, he could have punched him in and then ran or something. Crazy.
When you kill That's why my son, don't carry a knife to attract me, because you might end up in jail. I'm telling them that before they go.
Not all of them, but some will. At least some will wake up, you know. Pray for that. At least some will wake up. Not all of them. It's already there. No problem, bro. Thank you, man. No problem.
But it's easy to deflect and say, no, it's their fault. It's their fault. Because your whole life is about blame. You don't want to be accountable.
No problem. The Chicago Conservative, unfiltered. No problem, bro. Again, you guys, check his channel out, man. He be on it. Check that out.
For the decisions you've made. You don't want to be accountable for all them baby daddies. All that sex with all them strangers. For lesbian acts and homosexual acts. And you don't want to be accountable. Oh, we make it most plain than that. You want to be accountable for all the jobs you done quit. Your inconsistencies. All the husbands you done divorced. You don't want to be accountable, J. Brian. So let's blame somebody. That's what this spirit from BLM was about. Blame. If we can blame somebody for our condition, we never have to take accountability for it. Bible says, chiefly them, they walk after the flesh.
Yeah, he got a lot of church rappers now. He be on it. He be at it.
So much so that they despise government. Despise government. Despise rules. Presumptuous are they. Self-will. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. These are people that could care less about you having a badge, about you having authority, about you having the ability to put them in jail. They don't care. A routine traffic stop. Can I see your ID and your insurance? No.
Yeah.
I need your ID. No. Go get your supervisor. Supervisor? We outside. Where did that come from? That's the internet. Supervisor. Go get a supervisor. Then when they say, well, I'm a supervisor. Well, now you're not my supervisor. They're speaking evil of dignities that despise government, leadership, rulership, authority. Despise it. Then when they in the handcuffs, call my mama. Call my mama. No, you in handcuffs. You're arrested. All you have to do is show your license. But because you despise government, you speak evil of dignity. See, when you was at home, you were speaking evil of them because you was watching TV and they told you defund the police. We don't need no police. The police, they're in that same area where they was defunding the police. They got police now. Police came back. We sorry, police. We need y'all back.
We made a mistake.
I feel like I'm doing a good job. Even though there is very little racial bias or inhibiting blacks from success today, they still believe the white man is to blame for their issue-oriented lives. You just watched the NBA final and it wasn't nothing but Negroes. A few of us. All them are millionaires. How did they become millionaires if the country's racist? All of your favorite singers. Now you riding around listening to a singer tell you to take your gun out and shoot somebody. Same singer telling you to go have sex with everybody you meet. You listen to a rapper rap that, he getting paid. If it was racist, they gonna pay him to walk around with his hair nappy and his breath stinking. Would he be getting a check?
No.
There are opportunities. Any black people got jobs in here? Anybody got a good one? Y'all got good jobs, black people? But I thought the white man wasn't gonna let you do that. Anybody got some white people working under them? That's amazing. I just did a magic trick. So even though there's very little racial bias, or inhibiting blacks from success today, they still believe the white man is to blame. But did the white man make them have multiple sex partners? He told you to sleep around. White man made you sleep around with all them dudes, all them girls. And you know, all the dudes you slept around with took a piece of you. So now when you get angry, you get extra angry because you're angry at all the pieces that were taken. So you're just not a regular angry. That's why you see them, they just like, how are you that mad? And you didn't know these people. Well, parts of me are everywhere.
Juneteenth is an American history. You know, I have no problem with it. But how it's celebrated and why it's celebrated is to me makes no points because you're celebrating victimhood. And guess who pushed it out? Joe Biden, Democrat. Just to push us back further. And you guys going right along with it. So my thing is, white people can't celebrate Juneteenth. They have to be free. They fought during the Civil War. They free us. You know what I'm saying? But you guys want to go and make it all about blacks. Again, y'all making it about race again. It makes no sense. It's supposed to be celebrated as American history. But you guys making it personal for no reason. Jesus Christ. But here we go. Let's get into it. It's my man Ed from X, that you see on YouTube as well.
It's a holiday to celebrate history. Now, whether you agree or disagree with why it exists, it doesn't matter. To some people, they like celebrating, like the people in Atlanta, where they literally reenact a chain. I guess it was some type of, everybody was wearing like slave clothes. And
Just imagine the white people post this, them whipping slaves or blacks or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Slavery. Come on, Juneteenth people. You got to do better, man. The victim mentality has to stop.
and chained up, and they was reenacting Slavery Day. This was single-handedly one of the most disgusting acts. You want to know why? This was a slap in the face of slaves.
This is a flag we need to be celebrating right here.
When did you?
My bad to keep on stopping this. You know what I'm saying? This is personal. We got down saying the 4th of July coming up next month. You know, we should be celebrating that right there. You guys got these pride flags, these Juneteenth colors, and all that stuff out here tripping. I get it, you know what I'm saying? Have the right to do so. But you guys are doing it where it's this victim mentality.
You all do play dress up, and then after the event, go to McDonald's and your ACs with your fashion clothes in your homes, right? That was a slap in the face. That disgusts me. How dare you all? How dare you all sit there and pretend to be slaves in a country that you are no slave? You all have no damn idea what them people went through. No idea. Mind you, these people went through what they went through because of the Democratic Party. Yes, because of the Democratic Party. As long as they did under the Democratic Party reign, just to let you know. But you all disgust me. How dare you all pretend to be something or go through something that you all never experienced? You all couldn't last. None of you all could last This was absolutely uncalled for. The pictures and the photos that I seen, it was mind-blowing. You had people as it's Halloween, as if it's Halloween. Oh, let me dress up as a slave and pretend to be a slave. This is me honoring my ancestors. What? You want to know what's honoring your ancestors? Going to work, being in a free country, all the opportunities you all have. Build a legacy, a generational wealth. Stop complaining. That's how you honor. Disgust me.
Man, you be coming with some good stuff,
Juneteenth
man.
is a holiday to celebrate.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you guys stopped by. I appreciate that. Like, share, and subscribe. So this is insane how, these people out here doing that. Once again, the white people do the same thing, reverse, it'd be an uproar. But you don't see that. But nigga fatigue, not black fatigue, nigga fatigue. I'm an American. My stuff got to stop. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you guys.
Yep. And I got that nigga fatigue for my man Vashawn. He's right. It's nigga fatigue, it's not black fatigue, because as blacks, we ain't out here tripping like that. It's nigga fatigue. On the real.
And then I have DNA of others all in me, changing me, making me conform to the way they behave. So these are folk that's out of control because they ain't nothing but sex pots. You think God was warning you about promiscuity just to stop your fun? Right. No, it's a biological thing that happens. You're losing yourself. Can I preach?
Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Common Sense Channel. American first.
Smoke. Did the white man make you have multiple sex partners? Did he make you have bad diets? All them irate women, I know what they go home and eat. You don't have to tell me.
Thank you, Rick.
Tell me.
Thank you, Ricky.
Write it down right now. Let me get some paper. I write it down and compare it. Yep, that's what they eat. Because the food has chemicals in it to mess with their thought process. Yeah. So when they're angry or embittered, they react differently based on the chemical reaction. You know, all you have are chemicals controlling your thought process. You know that, right? You know your brain is activated chemically. Yeah, the chemicals and the electricity in your body come together and cause a reaction. So if all you eating is Susie Q's, you get mad, you're going to act like Susie Q. Whoever that is, she just sound ratchet. Yeah, did they make you eat like that? Did the white man cause you to be all into perversion? Have all of those wedlock births? Have all of those abortions? Do witchcraft? Ignorance, bad choices, bad decisions, violence, and bad temper? The white man made you do all of that, huh? None of that is based on the decisions you made. Let me tell you something. And this is for everybody. Black, white, Hispanic, all y'all. Your life is a result of your behavior.
Yes.
God said he don't have a respect the person. And he chose Israel, called them out of the world, gave the other nations to the other gods or whatever. But if anybody wanted to be engrafted in or did something, he would welcome them just like one of the others. Because it was never about blood. It's always about behavior. It's always about behavior. It's always about behavior. Rahab was a harlot, but because she hid the spies she became one of the whole family. They brought them all in, and the Bible said they dwelled with them and became Jews with them. Permanently. Then at the day, we want to talk about that. You know, we try to make that like that was a church service. No, that was a gathering of nations for God to restore.
Yeah, didn't Roosevelt doll leave? Now she back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody leaving America, coming right back. On the real. Okay, how much money you got? They coming back to America.
Order in all nations and take all nations back. The Bible said that they were Jews from...
Right, so my channel is about showing what the BS is going on, but I'm also going to preach unity and common sense on this channel. I don't want nobody to be divided. I want us all to come together, period. It just makes sense to stay together and come together. Our energy, when we come together, man, we have a good energy together with each other. This is imagine how negative we become. It causes chaos. We can stay on this stay on this positive energy. So this negative, we can do a whole lot better. And it's crazy how the government, it's only what, few hundred people telling us what to do as an Americans. That makes no sense. And we voted for these people. They work for us. We don't work for them. They work for us. I don't understand how people keep forgetting how Congress, the president, and all of them work for us. Thank you, Ricky Clark. You've been watching for a while. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. You guys, we growing together, period. We growing. Thank you. Right, everyone wants to come together. That's why throughout the Juneteenth BS. Like I said before, the Juneteenth thing is American history, you know. But they did it where it is now is it's causing division, the mentality. They're making it all personal. Both sides, black and white fault. Right, then you got a black mayor. We had 3 black mayors in Chicago, Harold Washington, Lori Lightfoot, and now we got Brandon Johnson. And so far as Harold Washington, I was kind of young when he was around. But Lori Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson are terrible. Woke. All about power. Don't care about nobody else. But Brandon Johnson got 150 people as far as security. Some of them are officers. I could be wrong, but I know he got a lot of officers protecting him. But he wanted to defund the police. Makes no sense.
all over the world. Different language speaking Jews. Different.
Right, you can hate, yeah, we're criticizing the government all day long. Nobody's perfect. I get what you're saying. Herbie, I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about anything that's negative. You got to call it out.
Looks, different hair, different customs. And when the Holy Ghost fell, they all became one. Because God was showing, okay, I broke it all up in Genesis. Now,
like for me, I'm MAGA all day. When Trump out of office, I'm going to still be rapping my MAGA hat and claiming American first. I just want peace for everybody on the real. And everything Trump, I like everything that Trump do or said. You know, he be tripping sometimes. Sometimes he talks too long. But yeah, Trump do something wrong, I'm gonna call him out. Ain't no problem with that.
I'm bringing it all back together in the book of Acts. Somebody don't want to believe that because they want to be mad. But let me tell you, I guarantee you, if you leave this service mad today, you're not mad at this message. You're not angry about this message. That's your life. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever a man soweth, that shall he what?
Reap.
You're going to reap it. A lot of people in that reaping, and they want to be in denial. This is I'm not going to play it, but that's the I just had to show it. That's the BLM ritual that was done. Y'all remember I showed that in one of the videos. And she's casting this spell. And in this particular spell, it's just basically blaming the white man and this country for the condition of African Americans. And that's what the whole spell was for. Now,
anybody that celebrates Juneteenth lets me know they have that victim mentality and they stuck in the past. Can't let it go. I don't understand it. We don't live back then. We live now, 2026. That was 1863. And then 2 years later, somebody came by and reminded them, let them know, hey, you guys free. Really? Come on, man. I got some videos I'm play for you guys. Check it out. Thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it. Name is Deunta.
I'm about to ruin Juneteenth for some of y'all, but it used to be said. Juneteenth only exists because Democrats did not want to give up their slaves. And even now in the present day, they still do not want to give them up. Let me tell you why. Juneteenth actually exists because Union General Gordon Granger had to go down to the beaches of Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865 to tell the slaves there that they were free. Now, those of you who understand history realize Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation 2.5 years before on January 1st, 1863. So what happened in that 2.5 year period? Basically, the Southern Democrat slave owners kept their own slaves in the dark because they did not want to give those slaves up and remove those literal chains. So Gordon Granger had to go all the way down there and tell the slaves they were free. And if he had not, then many Democrats would have kept those chains on those slaves forever. People are going to hear that information and feel some kind of way. I don't really care about that. What I care about is the fact that, yes, Joe Biden made this a national holiday because there was originally only a state holiday here in Texas until very recently. But he did this intentionally because the Democratic Party wants to rewrite history, and they're doing everything in their power to do that and to distance themselves from their own negative history. People will now say, oh, well, the party switched. And the reason they say that is because they want you to realize that the very same reason that those Southern Democrat slave owners did not want to tell the slaves they were free is the same reason they will not tell people today that they are free and can actually make their own choices, which is why they keep individuals in the Black community shackled to the Democrat Party, shackled to the inner cities that don't serve them, and shackled to policies that ultimately do not serve their best interest. So the fact of the matter is, someone can sit there and complain and say, oh, the party switched, oh, you're rewriting history. No, I'm telling you the actual facts. You look them up for yourself, but you are the one that's making the decision to take those chains off, and if you don't, then that's ultimately on you. So if you did not know this information, now you do. Even if you did know it, share it with somebody else. I guarantee you not enough people understand the real history behind Juneteenth. It needs to be spread far and wide.
Yeah, you're lying. They get mad at us about wearing our MAGA hats. You know what I'm saying? We about America first. You guys we're about being slaves still. Y'all stuck in the past, man. Man, stop doing that, you liberals, you Democrats. Come on, man. Hold on, I got some more for you. Check it out.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Zeke Arkham, and the Democrats are celebrating Juneteenth. They said, as we celebrate Juneteenth, we honor the power and resilience of Black Americans throughout American history. It's funny because they're the ones who were actually voting against power and resilience and did more to hurt power and resilience for Black Americans, but they skip over that. That's just an inconvenient fact. But let's continue. Today is an opportunity to reflect on the progress we've made in the fight for freedom. Again, the Democrats are the ones who have killed a lot of that progress and fought against a lot of that progress, but let's continue. Lyndon B. Johnson fought against that progress, but wrapped up in a nice little bow that he called the Civil Rights Act. But let's continue with that.
Man.
In the fight for freedom and justice, and a reminder that our work is far from over. Democrats, do me a favor, maybe you can educate me. What more work needs to be done? What fight needs to be accomplished? What progress needs to be made? What can a white person do that I as a Black person cannot do? Let me know where there is still a fight and a struggle going on in the United States in 2026. And I'll be there to protest. Because right now,
Trump do not hate blacks. The man got Black people praying for him all the time. It's on TV. You'll see it. It's on TikTok. People be praying for Trump. And most be Black. They put their hands on them and they be praying. You can Google it.
I have every right that a white person has. As far as I know, maybe you can educate me. Right now, there's nothing I can't do. Again, right now, you can educate me. We have had a black person in every facet of large government. And I don't know where else we can go from there. So, Democrats, maybe you can educate me and at the same time educate yourselves as far as what you have done to stunt the progress of Black Americans throughout history. So maybe you can teach me that. Zeke Arkham, gotcha 6. Bye.
Appreciate that. Yeah, you guys, it's sickening how people just want to stay in the past. And slavery is a choice. I get it now. You know what I'm saying? At first, like, huh? Yeah, it's definitely what it is. My man right here, I'm going to close it out with him, let him cook. Again, thank you for stopping by. My name is Deunta. Let's get it.
Hey. Happy Juneteenth. Are you happy now? You rich? You successful? What are we still begging for? We begging for handouts, reparations, and apologies? You begging corporations to put your face on a poster so you feel seen? Is that what we want? 'Cause that's all this is. This is attention. You like the gays. You want your pride flags. You want to put your flag on your baseball cap. Everybody wants attention. You got a phone. Film yourself. Say something. That's all the attention you need.
USA,
it's not gonna pay your bills, I promise you. You're still gonna have to get a job. Who came up with that stupid name anyway, Juneteenth? I always hated that name. Such a dumb name. Should have called it Use It or Lose It Day. Because what are you gonna do with that freedom? That's the question. What, you gonna keep begging? You gonna build something? You gonna start something? Or you gonna raise a bunch of little kids like you? Depending on the government. I want you to stop focusing on the past and start focusing on the present. Because the present you can control. All right, this ain't 1865. Come on now.
Keep saying that, man.
Today, this is 2026. Nobody stopped me from doing nothing. They didn't have phones and welfare back then. All they had was their 2 hands and freedom. They were able to build schools and cities and churches. They didn't have to wait on a diversity committee to save them. You, on the other hand, you got the internet. You got the ability to start businesses on your phone. You got more opportunity than 99% of people who ever lived. And you acting like the chains are tighter today than they ever were. Shout out to our ancestors. Those are strong people. They'd be really disappointed with some of y'all today. I say whatever I like.
Yeah, my grandma, 97 years old, starting next month. July 19th, literally. No, my bad. July 18th. My wife's birthday, July 19th. My bad, babe. But thank you guys for stopping by. I just want to share that with you guys. Pray for these people, man, that they renew their minds, like the Bible say. Renew your mind. Why is black people, black America, not the conservatives, the Democrats, the liberals, why are you guys trying so hard to find that got you woman without a white man and a white woman bullshit about race or hatred? Y'all study trying to chase for it. It's not there. If it was, it's years ago. It's not now. What the heck is wrong with you people? We can come together right now, but you guys want to study, keep on being divided. You get people out here punching white people for no reason because of a certain verdict, because of a certain outcome that you don't like. You resort to violence. That's stupid. Humility, humble, peace. What happened to all that? God, number one. Love. So let my man cook right quick. Name's Deunta. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it.
And tell y'all the truth, and I know that the truth makes some of y'all want to peel y'all skin off. I don't care, start peeling. If you're one of those people who said that what Rick Child did to Cyrus was wrong, yet in the same breath you're defending Carmelo Anthony, saying that he did not deserve to go to prison, and you're rejoicing that Austin Metcalf lost his life, don't talk to people about what's right and what's wrong. You don't get to talk to people about what's right and what's wrong. Right and wrong does not matter to you. What matters to you is narrative and race. You guys are stupid.
The amount of racial hatred that I've been seeing coming from a lot of y'all the past couple of days is truly worthy of something to be permanently purged from society. Then we got y'all now out here making threats to people. You're wishing harm on people's children. You're rejoicing when people lose their life.
Right, y'all putting the pictures of both the boys with dresses on or an inmate outfit on with high heels on the switch, and these are kids, 17-year-old. Yeah, they 19 now. Well, we already know my calf not here. Condolences and prayers to the family, and prayers to both family. Love for both family. Healing for both family. But they get these kids depicted, you know what I'm saying, bogus. You know what I'm saying? AI bogus out here with it. These are kids, man. Made a mistake. People out here, good credit scores, rich and famous, out here drinking and driving. And guess what can happen? You can kill somebody with your car. Guess what happened? You go to jail. You kill somebody. Your car is now a weapon. Because now you're intoxicated and you're not focused, and you driving your car and you hit somebody that can die. We all make mistakes. We gotta learn from them, heal from it.
And then a lot of y'all out here talking about a race war. I don't know what you're gonna do that for. That's not gonna change anything. The only thing that's gonna change is you're either gonna be in prison like Carmelo Anthony or in the ground like Austin Metcalf. Not gonna lie, I lost hope in some of y'all. I ever had faith in most of y'all to begin with, but a lot of y'all are racist, looking for a reason to continue being racist and harmful to people who have done absolutely nothing to you. And some of y'all got the nerve to sit out here and say, oh, we gonna get revenge on the whites for this. We gonna get revenge on the whites for this. We gonna take back what? Ain't none of that going on. What's going on is we gonna keep hurting each other. We're gonna keep ignoring it, not having the same energy. We're gonna keep listening to our Al Sharptons. We're gonna keep donating money to the scams that is BLM and continue to engage.
Crazy.
When the felon is officially going to jail, he is officially getting 35 years. Personally, I would have doubled it. Because in my opinion, they can't claim self-defense for a person that wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. Then we got a lot of people attacking Asian business.
There you go. He's a good kid. Made a mistake. Yeah, he got suspended for having a knife. And had a knife again at a track meet. Some people say he shouldn't have been there, or he was there, or he went there anyway, and I guess the coach let him show up anyway, and he shouldn't. I don't know. But either way it go, he was there at a tent, at a school grounds where he shouldn't have been at. That's not standing your ground. That's not being bullied. Trespassing is not bully. Trespass is not being bullied. I don't get it. You're in the wrong place. How you being bullied? They tell you to leave. No, I'm bullied. I'm standing my ground. What? That makes no sense.
And this is still because of the whole Cyrus Mr. Chow thing. If you watched any of my videos before, you will know that personally, any 14-year-old with a gun is a problem. And it's not very wise showing up to a store.
Especially if he was trained how to shoot that gun. They were trying to compare the Metcalf family with the boys with the gun, and also Camelo with the gun. Austin and Camelo with guns. Well, the Metcalf family, they had deer outfits on, or hunting outfits, how you want to put it, and holding the gun the right way. You got Carmelo Anthony holding the gun, throwing up gang signs. You got Carmelo Anthony holding the gun, throwing up gang signs. And you got the Metcalf family boys, hunting gear, holding guns, no gang signs.
Or with it. I'm telling you, black fatigue is getting stronger. Motherfuckers is actually tired. A couple people made videos on me. Okay, yeah. Okay, y'all must want me to chimp out or something. Y'all ain't made me enough. My rates for chimp out start at $100. I ain't doing that stupid shit for free. As for a response, I could give a fuck about what y'all saying. Other than that, thanks for the shout out. In other news, Ohio's weed sucks.
I let it finish right quick. That's my man. He funny as hell. But yeah, it's my man Ed. He be coming with it. Check this out. Check this out.
Carmelo Anthony is being protected by a woman named Candace Matthews, who is a part of the National Minister of Politics of the new Black Panther of Texas. Apparently, there are multiple versions of Black Panther. Some of them don't associate themselves with others, I guess. Nevertheless, she gets on to do a press conference. I was summoned here. I'm here. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for arriving. Did you arrive with money? Because at this point, that is the only thing that's going to help this.
He's finna cook you guys. Gonna be quiet.
Boy out. It's money. Matter of fact, why didn't you help him out 8 months ago and pay his attorney fees for him to have a good lawyer? You see, all these people are going around talking. I'm here. Did you show up with money before? They gave this boy one of the weakest attorneys. Not that would have mattered if you would have got a good attorney or not, but he showed up with one of it. They showed up with a Craig.
I gotta say this. He said he did it. It's not coerced, not put to the corner. As soon as the incident happened, he said he did it.
List attorney. Okay, a Craigslist attorney. Any real good attorney would have gave that boy a plea deal, would have accepted that plea deal. Any good attorney would have made that boy take that stand. Any good attorney would have minimized that 35 years to 20, 25 years. Anything helpful, you would have shown up and, I'm here now. You get you like a buffoon. I ain't trusting nobody with that many rings on their finger. The judge, he's child abuse. What? I don't understand. I do not.
And then, so they going back and forth tit for tat. Now, I don't know what's going on with the judge or the DA, how you want to put it, but we already know that Carmelo Anthony, spokesman, how you want to put it, he got his record being put out for years. For years, it's been put out already. Probably about 8 different mugshots he got. He got an Al Sharpton shag, long hair, and then he got, the wave cut he got now. But he started off with the Al Sharpton shag, how you want to call it. But yeah, they going back and forth. This is crazy.
Understand. What part of you are not understanding that the boy murdered somebody? And you all saying it was self-defense?
The adding numbers.
If you all saying that it's good to murder somebody in a school district because of bully, wouldn't that justify everybody else, all the school shootings and stuff? You can't go around murdering somebody because someone pushed you. It keeps saying that the boy was a bully. There's no record of, regardless if he's a bully or not, there's no record, right? No witnesses that said that he was specifically bullying him. There's nothing about Carmelo that tells me that he's going to allow a bully to bully him. So stop that line. He murdered somebody.
Oh, man, he be coming with it. Appreciate you guys stopping by. You know what I'm saying? My name is Deunta. We got to come together, you guys. Come together, do better. I was going to keep saying this. God is in control. If you don't know Jesus, get to know Jesus. Because without him, we all be lost. Catch you guys later.
Which is what we've watched people do. We see them say black.
Yeah, I think we're playing the video now. Is this the? Yeah, let's play 6. Let's keep playing 6. I'll and so you can see the tent. Obviously, you can see that the weather's kind of overcast. You can see that there seems to be quite a few people. Now, I feel bad for those of you that are just listening over Apple or Spotify. You can't see. Hopefully, you're watching on Spotify, but you can't see what's going on here. But anyway, you can see, there's a video footage. You can see people standing under the tent. You can kind of see it's the only tent around. There's a bunch of people standing out in the drizzling rain. So why Carmelo Anthony, to me, is underneath this tent when others are not. And so I could see why someone would be questioning, like, hey, you know, this isn't your tent. This is our locker room. What are you doing here? And then so there's an arrow pointing. There's the push, and then there's the stab, and then there's the quick exit, and Carmelo Anthony running out. Running down the stairs. Someone went after him, and then it looked like someone circled back, and now he's on a mad run trying to exit the tent area and that area, and there's all this, he was going to get an adult, blah, blah, blah. Nah, that looks like someone that just did something they know they shouldn't have done, and they're trying to run and get away. Then they kind of slow down to a walk. Police come after them. Anybody still trying to defend Carmelo Anthony is insane.
Insane.
And what I will say, after watching this, and then this morning, I watched Pastor G. Craig. I think his last name is Lewis. I don't know why. Let me double check. He's been on our show before. He's the leader of X Ministries, G. Craig Lewis. He's been on our show before. He's been been talking about since the 1990s what's been going on in hip hop and how it's preparing young people for nihilism. And he's making the same argument that I started making last week. And he just explained it more with scripture and from a biblical perspective. But I'm telling you, I've watched this video. I've listened to Carmelo's reaction, and we'll play a couple of those clips. This is occult. This is the occult. This is satanic, organized, ritualistic child sacrifice behavior. And I want people to understand me perfectly. Both of these children have been sacrificed to the occult. I'm not saying they're equals in this. Carmelo Anthony is the bad guy. And he
Right, Jared. Yeah, you would see his arm flail in the air. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get off of me. Like, dude, you just got to stab somebody. So, yeah, I hope he showed this. This is live. I winding it back some. This is actually a live feed. I winding it back to see what's going on.
He deserved every bit of those 35 years, and he is the bad guy and in the wrong. Who got sacrificed? Austin Metcalf, some other kid from that high school? It didn't matter. To me, I watched this tape, and I'll play you some of the audio, and to me, Carmelo Anthony was given an assignment. You need to go injure someone, assault someone with this knife, another child, because how you walk up into someone's tent and then 2 or 3 minutes later, and you're telling people, hey, touch me and see what happens, touch me and see what happens while you're holding a knife in your bag, and then you stab someone and then you run away. These were instructions given. And I say that, and I said it last week. And I got an email, I'm not going to say from who, but I said it last week about the West Memphis 3. That famous case, 3 young boys in Memphis that killed another young kid, like by a river or a stream. And it was an occult-like killing. And the prosecution said it was an occult killing, that this was a child sacrifice. And then HBO came in and created 3 different documentaries trying to argue that these 3 boys, particularly Damian Eccles, didn't do it. And they came up with 3 documentaries, and they pointed the finger at 3 different assailants. And eventually, after 15 years or so, they got Damian Eccles and these 3 boys sprung from prison. And I told you all, I went deep down the rabbit hole, really deep. And this was years ago.
talked to attorneys involved, people, and like, no, they did these killings. And the media and the occult concocted this whole argument, this whole narrative, and got these guys out of prison. And they turned Damien Echols into this great victim and hero and falsely accused person. And next thing you know, stories and profiles are being written about him on Deadspin. This is the occult. And I got a nice email from someone from the criminal justice system that had studied this case. And this is like a really super qualified person who studied this case and sent me a note to tell me, like, man, you nailed that. I've looked at this case deeply. Same thing is going on here. This smells exactly like the West Memphis 3. Police catch them dead to rights. Prosecution puts on the perfect prosecution case, convicts the West Memphis 3, and then the media and these leftists come in and concoct some narrative and turn the West Memphis 3 into victims. We're at the very beginning stages of the media and leftists and the occult turning Carmelo Anthony into the victim. And he didn't do it, or he was justified. He was this self-defense claim. This is all occult-like activity. And I watched G. Craig Lewis break it down this past Sunday in his church, and how the black church, black gangs, black culture has been captured by the occult. And y'all wonder why I keep coming on here like this case is important, and we have to call out this satanic culture that has captured black culture. And we're running around defending a murderer. I saw things on, I saw Asante Samuel on Twitter this weekend defending Carmelo Anthony, making assertions, insinuations. They're like, oh, what should Carmelo have done? Take that L, crazy work. He's got, like, he was disrespected. Someone pushed him. What was he to do? Asante Samuel's Super Bowl champion has a solid case for the NFL Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's out promoting that Carmelo Anthony's some victim and he shouldn't be in jail. This is a guy jerking off on social media, too much money, and we've given him too much platform because we worship these sports heroes as gods, and we give them so much money, and people, well, he's made all this money, he must be smart. And he thinks Carmelo Anthony was justified in killing a 17-year-old.
Murder is murder. And you see how it's crazy how they hyped it up. They went from saying it was a multi-tool knife to the size this small and all that trash. The straight sending people off, man. The man was just wrong. You know, there was a plea deal they could have had taken, but they didn't take the plea deal because they want the money. They want the money to keep going. Did you read about that or hear about that? I'm pretty sure every court case, there's always a plea deal. I'm pretty sure they offered him one, and then they didn't take it that way. And I believe they pushed that narrative, which causing division now. They race shit. Both schools are mixed schools. They ain't like it was an all-white school against an all-black school. It was both schools, both diverse. It was mixed. So I understand how y'all made it about race and this jumping thing. And then there's a certain magic video out there that shows 4K of everything that happened, of all the angles. Where is it? You got people like Willie D and other people out here just straight lying, sends another video out there. But the information they're getting it from is some people that's actors or paid protesters, and also a pedophile, a sex offender. So all the information from the wrong people. That's crazy. Subscribe.
Child, these people, including Asante Samuel, they're part of the occult. They may not even know it, but they're part of the occult. Let me play a couple of these body cam videos of Carmelo Anthony. Let's start with SOT 7, where he says he was protecting himself.
And I'm protecting myself.
If somebody shoot up, be over there. Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there, bro. Dispatch 443. I got these suspects. And they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? I'll look here.
How long? I know I'm not.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay?
It's no accident that he committed this, in my view, premeditated assault, not premeditated murder, but premeditated assault, wearing a sweatshirt that says Essentials, Fear of God. This is not an accident. You don't put on a sweatshirt that says Essentials, Fear of God, and then go out and pick a fight with another child and then stab them. So you have to ask yourself, what God is his sweatshirt referencing? Because it's not the God you and I serve. He trust me, this occult, this religion that they've created, this satanic religion that they created, that's what that sweatshirt is representing. This was premeditated, the conflict, not the murder, but the conflict. You know, these things that he's saying to the police, these are rehearsed. These are things he was told. This is what you claim. I was protecting myself. He put his hands on me. Let's play SOT 8.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim is over here on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the latest suspect. Already? No. We searched them. We don't know what happened.
He put his hands on me. Rehearsed. Told to say it. That was the justification. Then, because he's thinking, because his instructions were to assault, not to kill. Then he said, is Austin okay? Let's play SOT 9.
I see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Carmelo? Let's see. Hold on one second. I don't know yet, man. Carmelo, C-A-R-A.
I want to play SOT 10. This is something, in my view, this is my opinion, he was instructed to do, and so he wanted credit for it. This is him claiming credit for what he did. Let's play Sot 10.
It's the alleged suspect. Okay. No, I'm not. I know how it goes. I'm not alleged.
I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. I did it. It was his assignment, and he wanted credit for it. This is the occult. These gangs that hip-hop has normalized and celebrated. These are all satanic cult. And I want to apologize to my friends, my brothers. I'm going to offer up this apology first, but I just got to say it because it's truth. And G. Craig Lewis went into it this weekend on Sunday in his sermon. These fraternities, it's the occult. They're rituals that they put you through. Secret societies. It's pledging allegiance to something other than God. That's what's ruling black culture. The boule and gang prison culture. Secret societies that have no allegiance. They claim allegiance to God, but you can't. You can't. They've taken on other gods. They answer, their identity is caught up in something other than God. I'm Alpha Kappa Alpha if you're a woman. I'm Phi Beta Sigma. I got dear friends, brothers that are in these organizations. It's unbiblical. And I'm talking about guys I love. It's unbiblical. I'm not going to play the clips of the 911 calls. I think they're too painful. But I feel really, really confident. Really, and which means that, because I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. This is the occult. And all the people that are running around acting like there's some legitimacy to what Carmelo Anthony did in his defense. And I asked this, and I haven't looked at the results, but I asked this over Twitter this morning. Now, let's see. What percentage of American blacks, and Shamika, bring Shamika on, I'm going to ask Shamika this question. What percentage of American blacks are sympathetic towards Carmelo Anthony and or think there's some legitimacy to the "he put his hands on me" defense? Shamika, let's start there. My poll results, I gave people the option of 90% of black America, 75%, 50%, 25% or less. 90% has 25%. 28% basically have 75% of black America. So you add those two together, and basically you got 53% believe 75% or more of black people think there's some legitimacy to his argument. Half thought it was about 18% thought about half of black
Everything
Americans
doing good, Brad. Thanks for asking.
and
Appreciate
looks
that.
like about 29% believe only 25% or less of black people feel this way. I asked the question sincerely because I can't figure out
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Appreciate that.
if social media is leading me astray and convincing me that most of black America believes this, but in reality, that's not the truth. What percentage of black America thinks that there's a side to Carmelo's story?
Jason, my answer was going to be 85. Like 85%. And I haven't had the conversation outside of social media, but it does appear that there are so many black people who are actually in belief that Carmelo Anthony was standing his ground and that he did the right thing. And you have to protect yourself, and you can't just let them beat on you. People that I actually thought were smart and intelligent. I've seen so many people taking the other side. After the verdict came out last week or whenever it was, I posted something on Instagram, and Dr. Boyce Watkins actually came into the comments and said, I'm on Carmelo's side. And so I have just kind of been floored. So I would have to think it's 85-90% who think this that he was right.
That right?
Yeah, they're making it about race, and that's stupid. That's how the Democrat Party is. These liberals. That's crazy how you just think like that for years and doesn't change.
From Boyce, are you sure? I thought I've seen other things, like I thought I seen things where Boyce is like, clear as day, Carmelo's wrong here.
Yeah, since then I have seen things that said clear as day, he's wrong. But the actual day the verdict came out, unless someone else runs his Instagram, it's verified, and he came and said, I'm actually on Carmelo's side for this. And I was just...
Right, Carmelo came to the track meet, you know what I'm saying, with a knife, and he shouldn't have done that. It's school ground, sporting event, you can't come on no weapons, period. And he did. Now he in jail. He should have got longer. And now that I see the facts keep coming out and seeing how, what's going on, like, yeah, he should have had way more than that. But if he had took the plea deal, it'd been much lesser. But they want their money. They do money for money.
Just shocked. Since then, he seemed to have come around, but I reminded him on X, like, well, initially on Carmelo's side. So I don't know what his response was. I don't know if somebody else runs his Instagram, but, people that I really know can actually think logically. Initially, I believe skin worship.
I'm black. I support Kyle Rittenhouse. The party did not switch. I'm with Kyle Rittenhouse. And the thing about it was 3 white men that he shot at. So it is what it was. He was defending himself. And if you guys seen the video, they was chasing him. He was running with his gun from them. They trying to take his gun. Right, murder is murder, period. The party never switched. The people ideas, they switched. And then it's stuck since then. Do your research. You might know state lines and no guns, man.
We are not paying, he'll never.
Entire time he was on bail and his trial started, I started researching it, and
the man who was labeled guilty until proven innocent, Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle, good to see you again, brother. You know what it's like to be in the sights of this mob.
yeah, absolutely, Carl. Thank you for having me on your show. And it's insane to see this case unfold. And I didn't really hear anything about it for the.
What up, Patrick? What's up, man? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh yeah, we growing. We growing. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Entire time he was on bail and his trial started, I started researching it, and out of nowhere, people came out of the woodworks to support a 17-year-old kid who murdered another 17-year-old kid, all because he was told to leave a tent that he wasn't supposed to be in to begin with, and they're using this as a excuse to essentially start another race war.
Yeah, you know, I remember watching your trial very intently. Like, I mean, it was a real nail biter, and I remember when that innocent verdict came down for you. You broke down. I mean, talk about what it's like to be in the crosshairs of the mob, because you know, Carmelo Anthony is in the eyes of the mob, he's like their savior, and he should be innocent. But you've been on the other side of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're the same people that are screaming self-defense for Carmelo Anthony are the same ones that are screaming that I'm a murderer, a white supremacist, or a Nazi for defending myself against 3 white guys. They were the same ones that were outside protesting me at my trial for defending myself. And if self-defense is so important to them, why didn't they support me or come to my defense when I was very much violently attacked by a mob that tried to kill me and execute me on the streets of Kenosha?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, it's 100%. And it becomes the same drumbeat of the same people that you see or the same type of people. You know, Congressman Wesley Hunt laid out why this, you know, these racial divides are happening. He did this at the SPLC hearing today. Roll this.
The Democrat Party has built an entire political machine on grievance. They don't want to solve problems. They want to reopen wounds of the past. They don't offer vision. They offer victimhood.
Right. The people that Kyle Rittenhouse, you know what I'm saying, shot at, you know what I'm saying, the 3 men, they all were all felons. One had a gun, and they were trying to take his gun. And also, like they said in the chat, he was a child molester. And you guys defending him. That's sick as hell. That's how you know these people crazy. They don't do no research. No, you know what I'm saying? No facts. They use feelings. You guys mad at Kyle Rittenhouse because he shot at a molester or he killed a child molester? Do y'all facts, man. That's crazy as hell. I'm glad you guys in the chat. Name is Deunta. Welcome, welcome. Let's continue.
Racism, white supremacy, Jim Crow, democracy is dying. Why? Because fear is the currency of the Democrat Party. Division is their strategy. Outrage is their oxygen.
That outrage almost got you killed.
Absolutely.
Democrats.
No, I mean, it's the chaos chamber that the left likes to start. They like the violence. They like to cause chaos, especially when we're going into election cycles, to cause confusion, and to the general person to say, hey, okay, maybe if I vote with the Democrats or go their way, everything will calm down and be fine and just stop, because that's how they try to win, with chaos, violence, and lawfare.
Well, to your point, though, to your case, what happened is, if you had been a leftist fleeing from the Tea Party, you would have been hailed as like the greatest hero ever. I mean, is it just the fact that they are like so blindly loyal to a party that even facts reason it? Like, have you had anybody that you've ever debated? I mean, you do a lot of public speaking. Have you ever had anybody been like, I was wrong about you. I thought you were this bad guy, and then I saw the facts of the case, and you were right. I'm sorry.
Well, surprisingly, it happens. It happens more than one might think. Recently, I was out electioneering for state representative candidate David Lowe, and there were counter protesters there, and I actually walked over to them and I debated one guy. He very, very interesting fella, and he had no idea what he was doing out there and what he was protesting. He was just there and didn't like me because he was told not to like me. So I played some videos for them, and ironically, they apologized and left.
Wow. I mean,
yeah, they were like, okay, we feel stupid now.
Yeah, but they were still at the protest without knowing what they were protesting. How much of this stuff do you think, though, like these people out there, maybe they just don't want a reason, maybe they're just taught to hate, maybe they're just, told this is the right thing, or paid, who knows? How many of these people do you think are actually worth reasoning with?
Not a lot, because you will try to reason with them and they will threaten your life. They will threaten violence, or they'll try to kill you because they don't like what you have to say. They don't agree with the facts being presented, and they will try to twist the narrative and story to favor them. As we saw in the Carmelo Anthony case, we saw a lot of civil rights leaders coming into Carmelo's defense when he's very clearly guilty. It's a very open and shut case, and it shouldn't have been politically and racially motivated like it's been and twisted.
Defense attorneys argue Rittenhouse. Hi, good morning. Jurors have heard from a number of witnesses on behalf of prosecutors who are portraying Rittenhouse as the instigator during violent and deadly protests in Kenosha in August of 2020. On Monday, Gage Grosskreutz, a crucial witness, was called to testify. The 27-year-old EMT and paramedic was live streaming as gunshots were fired off during the angry unrest in Kenosha. He encountered Rittenhouse right after the defendant shot and killed Joseph Rosenbaum. The team then fatally shot Anthony Huber. Grosskreutz testified that he thought Rittenhouse was an active shooter. He admitted to pointing his gun at Rittenhouse.
The defendant pulled the trigger while my hands were in the air, but the gun didn't fire.
Rittenhouse then racked his weapon, shooting Grosskreutz in the arm. Defense attorneys argue Rittenhouse was acting out of self-defense. The trial will pick up this morning in Kenosha. For now, live in the newsroom, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN News.
Yeah, 100% there. Kyle Rittenhouse, my man, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, Carl.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what
Now that affirmative action's gone, Republicans are now going after minority scholarships. Robin Voss, who's the Speaker of the Wisconsin State Assembly, promised that they'd be relooking in the fall at different programs that have scholarships, grants, and programs. But look at who's going to be targeted. Black Americans, American Indians, Hispanic individuals, and people from Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia. The Supreme Court's decision didn't just repeal affirmative action. It's now made it so Republicans will go after any type of diversity in higher education.
Boy. So we got to talk about another major L for the reparations people, or the people who are hoping that they're going to get reparations, aka they're hoping that the white man is going to take his boot off their neck, right, and to give them some money, right, to give them a handout. Hey, we have a major reality check for those people. It ain't happening. And this story right here is a great example of why it's not going to happen. It is simply unconstitutional, right? I've talked about this over and over and over and over again for the pro-reparations people. It is a big waste of time because the Supreme Court, the courts have ruled consistently that race-based remedies are unconstitutional, okay? And once again, we have another situation backing up what the courts have said over and over and over again, this time out of Wisconsin, as their Supreme Court has ruled that a taxpayer-funded race-based scholarship is unconstitutional. And of course, black Democrats, black liberals, right, are upset. They're boo-hoo, whining, and crying. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Wisconsin Supreme Court ends a taxpayer-funded race-based scholarship. Unanimously, the program is unconstitutional after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled against race-based admissions. Political reporter
When it comes to reparation and 40 acre Lemieux, Republican Abraham Lincoln had it for us, but he got assassinated. And Andrew Johnson, a Democrat, shut it down. So reparation was right there. We had it.
Jason Calvi joins us now from the newsroom with what that means. Jason. Hey, Brian, for now, it means that this particular Wisconsin scholarship is no more. That could mean a hole for hundreds of Wisconsin students who get this money. The law firm that challenged it says it's going to go other taxpayer-funded race-based programs.
In the 1980s, Wisconsin law set up the taxpayer-funded Minority Undergraduate Retention Grant for Wisconsin students who are Black, Native American, Hispanic, or descended from Laos, Vietnam, or Cambodia. It provides a max grant.
AKA whites are not allowed, right? Whites are not allowed to receive this taxpayer-funded scholarship. Now, I just want you guys to understand why this is wrong, right? Because I know a lot of pro-blackity blacks say, oh, what black people having something for themselves? Well, the issue is that it is taxpayer funded, right? We cannot be using our tax dollars to exclude people from opportunities based off race, right? If white people were excluding black people from taxpayer funded opportunities, everybody would agree, yeah, this is wrong, we can't do this. So that means that the reverse has to apply as well too, right? As in, you cannot have a scholarship that only black people or non-white people are eligible for, and it's taxpayer funded, okay? It's not allowed. It's very simple, right? The 14th Amendment applies to everybody. I know the pro-blackity blacks think that the Equal Protection Clause is simply for black people, right? It's for the descendants of slaves, okay, and nobody else. But that's not true, right? That's not the wording, okay, of the actual amendment or the clause. It is designed to protect everybody equally, regardless of your race. And when you have these race-based scholarships, that is not equal protection. It goes against the Equal Protection Clause. This is why every single attempt at reparations for Black Americans is going to get struck down in court. It's not going to hold up, right? You cannot get past this. There's no argument to get past it. And the more of these decisions that continue to come out over and over and over again, the more that the reparations argument, the legal argument for it just gets weaker and weaker and weaker. It's already weak, right? But it's damn near non-existent now, okay?
And of $2,500 per academic year for a total of 8 semesters. It's for students who finish their first year of college and are attending either a Wisconsin technical college or a private college or university. It helped State Senator Dora Drake graduate from Marquette.
I grew up in the 53223 zip code in Milwaukee, and I was a first-generation student. And for me and my family, they valued education, but my parents were working hard and did a lot to take care of my siblings, just for me to even get an opportunity.
Conservative law firm, the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, sued to challenge the scholarship.
It says that people who are certain races can't get the money because of the color of their skin. That's the definition of racism.
The state's Higher Education Aids Board said the grant fixes a, quote, crisis in minorities not finishing school and helps with compelling interests of diversity and equal educational opportunity.
Yeah, that's not a compelling interest, okay? If minorities are struggling to finish school, again, that's on them. That's on their parents, that's on their family. That's a personal problem. That's not a problem that the state needs to intervene and to start handing out race-based scholarships to fix. Okay, a lot of these problems cannot be fixed with money, and that's the issue with a lot of these government programs, that they're throwing money at a problem that you cannot fix with money. As I went over yesterday, a lot of these individuals that they're throwing money at are not very intelligent. And when you throw money at people who are not very intelligent, you're just wasting it.
On Thursday, the Wisconsin Supreme Court unanimously agreed the program was unconstitutional.
Frankly, I'm pissed, honestly, because tomorrow we're about to celebrate Juneteenth, and it's a day where we celebrate our freedoms to address what we have overcome. And yet we continue to pull back so many programs that have established opportunities for equity.
This scholarship.
Okay, that's great. That sounds great. But, this has nothing to do with Juneteenth. It has everything to do with the Constitution, right? What is constitutional was not constitutional. Your emotional arguments about, this hurts because it happened right before Juneteenth, right? Like, that has no bearing on whether this is constitutional or not, right? Notice how these people never engage in legal arguments. It's always emotional dribble, right? Emotional nonsense. It's never legality, okay? It's never a legal argument. It's always emotions with these people.
And all scholarships should be available to all students, regardless of their race, and students who need help should get help.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court rules the program violates the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. It follows the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Students for Fair Admissions versus Harvard. Liberal Justice Jill Karofsky wrote that the U.S. Supreme Court ruling means they were obligated, and she criticizes that higher court's ruling, saying, in short, the court ruled that it is racist to remedy racism. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty says it plans to challenge other taxpayer-funded race-based scholarships and programs. And Senator Drake tells me she plans to propose a bill to bring back the grants, focusing it on income and zip codes, not on race. Ken?
Yeah, I mean, that should have been what it was from the beginning, right? I honestly don't have much of a problem with, scholarships that help out low-income individuals, right? People who really need it, who are, poor, growing up in, a bad neighborhood or whatever, and they got potential, right? They've demonstrated that, okay, they need opportunity. I have no issues with that, okay? That helps everybody. Black people, white people, Hispanics, Native Americans, Asians. Yeah, I think everybody should have an opportunity to get a scholarship. Again, and our scholarships really should be merit-based. Again, but I have no problems with them saying, okay, let's target people based off income. But at the same time, also, it should be merit-based as well, too, right? You just shouldn't be handing out money to individuals, just because they're black or they're white or just because they have low income. You have to have merit as a part of it as well, too. But again, I don't really have a problem when you say, okay, let's help people who are less fortunate get access to the scholarship. But we can't do it based off race. It has to be done based off merit, and that's the right thing to do, okay? That's the right thing to do. And, hey, if the woke argument holds up, which is that black people are disproportionately poor, right, and living in poverty compared to the whites, okay, well, then black people will naturally disproportionately benefit if it's done in another way, right? If it's done, again, based off income and merit, then black people will still benefit. But you also have white people benefit, and everybody will benefit. And I don't understand why that is controversial. You don't need the race aspect. You don't need it. But they throw that in there. Clearly it's unconstitutional. And in their shot, the Pikachu face, right? The courts are striking it down. And they're going to continue to strike it down across the country. Race-based remedies will be struck down. Reparations will be struck down. Race scholarships will be struck down, especially after the affirmative action case is over. It's over, okay? For the past 50, 60.
Man, this thing called reality has terrible timing, right? Because this weekend, Chicago was supposed to be having one of those moments. The cameras were out, the speeches were ready, the headlines were lined up. Instead, the city started writing its own headline. And the part that's hard to ignore isn't what happened. It's what happened at the exact same time. So let's get into it.
So, yeah, it is personal. It's been unfortunately accepted in this country for a very long time. We had a chance 60 years ago to get at the root causes, and people mocked President Johnson. And we ended up with Richard Nixon. I'm going to work hard every day to transform this city. That's what it takes to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. I need everybody to step up. So, yeah,
Wow.
it is personal.
Wow. So let me make sure everybody understands what's being said here. Chicago just had another violent weekend. Multiple people dead. Dozens shot. All right. And in the middle of talking about that reality, the mayor starts discussing decisions made generations ago. Now look, history matters. But if your roof is leaking, eventually somebody's going to ask, who's holding the bucket today? Today. That's where people get frustrated. Because average Americans aren't sitting around wondering what happened 60 years ago while bullets are flying right now. They're wondering why this keeps happening. And maybe the biggest gap in modern politics isn't left versus right. It's the gap between people discussing problems and people leaving with them.
Yeah, he need to fire his barber for real, man. He got the little kid haircut. Nobody rock no mohawk no more, man. Shit played out.
Because statistics are one thing. But then you get to see what those statistics actually.
Yeah, the kids is doing a teen takeovers are the same kids that was on the e-learning during COVID. They can't read, can't write in cursive. They can't read an analog clock. What time is that? You really can't tell what time it is? Oh my goodness, it ain't digital. They can't read it. That's crazy. And guess what? The black community didn't even care about it. Let the computer do the teaching and the learning. No, you need interaction. Period. And it just some lazy shit on the side. Period. That's just laziness, man. Learning from a laptop. Crazy.
Truly look like.
This was supposed to be a joyous time. Neighbors say many people had gathered to celebrate Juneteenth when things took a violent turn. Surveillance video capturing.
And half those kids that graduated, I used to work at a high school. I was head of security at a high school in Chicago. For about 6 years, I had worked as head of security. And these kids cannot read. And they just let these kids graduate. God, he was a good kid, or he showed up every day, or she showed up every day. Let them just go ahead and graduate. Kids can't even read. Don't know how to talk right. Don't know how to talk to an adult. And then how you think they're gonna act when they get stopped by a cop? They don't know how to talk. They think anger is the way to get their point across. And that's what happens with these kids in school. They're having anger issues in school. Raging for no reason. Like, calm down. We're gonna help you out. Just breathe. They be flipping tables over, want to fight each other over social media, stupid shit. Like right now, summertime starting. School start back in September or early August. These kids gonna go ahead and start fighting each other over stupid stuff. Like, y'all wait all summer, then you get to school, now y'all want to fight, cause chaos for the next 3 months until everything settled down. That's crazy.
What appears to be a barrage of gunfire. Shortly after, you see people running for cover. Chicago police were called to 95th and Princeton after a mass shooting around 11 Friday night in the city's Princeton Park neighborhood. At least 13 people were injured.
244 West 95th Street. I need crowd control.
Chicago police say a red SUV pulled up to a large crowd. Investigators say 2 suspects began shooting from inside the car before taking off.
There's approximately 25 shell casings, both rifle and pistol rounds, from 243 West 95th all the way to the end of the block on Princeton.
The victims' ages range from 17 to 47 years old and were taken to different hospitals. A 26-year-old man was last listed in critical condition. The majority of the victims are expected to recover from their injuries.
All of a sudden, you hear this loud bum, 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 bum. I could hear the rapid fire gunfire. And I said, oh no, it can't be. And next thing I know, you hear the sirens.
Michael Blount was home at the time of the shooting. He says he's disappointed it happened at a time when people were looking to celebrate the holiday.
It was a shame that it happened on Juneteenth. This was supposed to be about celebration, not what just happened. That was just purely wrong.
A motive for the shooting is unclear. Police have not made any arrest. Alderman Anthony Beale, who represents the 9th Ward, saying in part, in a matter of seconds, an ordinary summer night was shattered by gunfire. No one should have to wonder if they or someone they love will make it home safely.
This is the part that
So Dana, everybody in the Trump files, when it comes to you said the Trump files, it's the Epstein files or the Clinton files. It's really the Clinton files. You didn't see Clinton, he got excited seeing that picture when he was in court, asked about the files and the pictures. He get real excited, going back into memory about it. The files been around for years and just came out because of Trump. Other than that, you guys was quiet about it. You guys thought he wasn't going to release it. He releases it now, it ain't enough. So how do you feel about Whoopi Goldberg being mentioned in it? How do you feel about who else is up in that besides Hakeem Jeffries? Hakeem Jeffries up in it. What's that lady named Pliskin, the female lawyer, whatever she is, Congress? She was in trial texting Jeffrey Epstein, going back and forth texting Jeffrey Epstein. It's more a Democrat party with Epstein than it is the Republicans. Or Trump himself. Once again, Trump one told on him. Trump the one kicked him out. Nobody wanted to do no research, but yeah, Jeffrey Epstein wanted Brooklyn Barack, Hakeem Jeffries, meet up and do a fundraiser. All right, leave the kids alone, man. Period. You care about the Epstein files that much, huh? That's may God bless you about that. Susanna Waters, may God bless you on that. That's good. So, what was your passion at when it first happened? When it was around Obama had it, when Biden had it? Hell, Hillary Clinton could have used it instead of using a Russia hoax. She could have used the files then. What was your passion for that? The Clintons didn't even use it. Try to put the man in jail, try to bankrupt the man, assassination attempts. Stop it, man. That man would have never been president if those things was out already. Right, only two genders. Okay.
Yeah, what? Lose about what? Oh, congratulations. Oh, I need a cheeseburger. I need that bubble. Let me see how it looks. Let me see. Oh, yeah. You look good. You trying to find something. Good. See? Oh, you trying to find something. You said bubble gum? The bubble? That's good, baby. That's for you. Congratulations, yeah. Is it close by your house? Okay, good. That's good. They own money now. See, they own one. Yeah.
What's up, Angelo?
How you know to look at you? Oh, okay. Right now you have to make some money. Yeah, good. Yeah, there you go. That's good money. They can just start it. You get that now. One time you get that.
Never makes it into the polished speech. This is the part that never makes it into the polished speeches. Man. You hear 35 shot, then you watch the footage. My bad, y'all. Get my mind right. Now it becomes real. Families, neighbors, kids running, people trying to get home. One thing I've noticed is that America has gotten very good at reacting to symbols. Sometimes we're not nearly as passionate about reacting to suffering. And when that happens, community starts feeling invisible. Not because nobody sees them, but because nobody stays looking long enough. And that's where the timing of everything this weekend starts getting strange. Because while all this is happening, something else was happening too.
This is our shot during a bloody weekend in Chicago. President Trump reacting to all of this, calling out Democrat leaders, quote, "Why isn't Governor Pritzker calling me for help? I can make Chicago a safe city in 1 month. In 1 year, it would be one of the safest." D.C. went from one of the worst to one of the safest cities in the country. And he's right. Police data show this. Violent crime in our nation's capital is down nearly every single category over last year's. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche joins us now. Mr. Attorney General, thanks so much for joining the program. Walk me through this. I know there's federal agents on the ground in Chicago, but you guys can't do your job unless y'all get cooperation from the local cops. The cops want to do it, but the Politicians don't want them to.
Of course, exactly. So what you have is a situation in Chicago, and you can contrast that to Washington, D.C. So in Chicago, yes, there's federal agents there, and they're working cases, and they're doing great work. But when there's not a partnership with local leadership, it's not the cops on the ground. It's local leadership encouraging the federal government to come in and help. When that happened in D.C., as you just showed, it worked. We did it in Memphis, and it worked. And there you have coordination, you have people working together, and it is shocking. It is shocking that leadership want nothing to do with any help from the federal government, and yet they read the same papers we do. 36, 37 shootings in a couple of days, 8 people dead, many of them teenagers. And the governor, what's he saying about it? He's probably going to come out and criticize President Trump. That's his answer. And it's, look, we're going to keep on doing our job in Chicago and everywhere else, but we wish we had better support from leadership.
Is there any way around this? I just remember I was a correspondent for Sean Hannity for years. I was there.
Now, here's what the story takes a turn for me, right? The Obama Presidential Center is one of the biggest projects Chicago has seen in years. Whether you love Obama or hate Obama, I mean, for the left, this is a major moment. A former president returns home. A legacy project opens, national attention, big celebration. But reality doesn't RSVP. Reality shows up whenever it wants. And that's why this weekend felt so awkward, because you have one group celebrating what Chicago represents and another group asking what Chicago currently is. Those are not always the same conversation. And speaking of that project, there was already another controversy attached to it.
When talking about that huge concrete turd that's covering the skyline of the south side of Chicago, the presidential library for Barack Obama, when talking about that, not only did he stiff the people of Chicago, with the eminent domain and all that other stuff and them being stuck paying for it. And not only did he stiff the black contractors that worked on this project, because Democrats are so, loving of black labor, as we know. But this guy stood on the stage and basically grifted. Him and his husband, Michael, stood on the stage and just pandered to black people. They had all of these celebrities come and attend. They had, all of these music artists sing. Can you imagine if, Donald Trump had musical artists sing at his events? We're still hearing the crap from the UFC fight. We're still hearing, liberals are crying about that. But, when Barack Obama sounds the alarm, they all come. And no one says a thing. But think about it. What is this guy actually going to be remembered for? Besides being a black face in the White House. I mean, most of us will remember the fact that he destroyed Libya in the Middle East. Most of us will remember how he destroyed race relations in this country. Most of us will remember how he destroyed the economy. Most of us will remember how this president, Barack Obama, gave so much to a specific group of people and denounced and ignored another group of people, the same which helped him get elected. And the group of people that he helped, the alphabet people, actually have more rights in this country than the people that his party kept as slaves. Let that sink in.
Now, before people start losing their minds in the comments, let's separate two things. Allegations are allegations, facts are facts. But here's what makes stories like this stick. Expectations. When the project is presented as something that's supposed to uplift the community, people expect the outcomes to match the promises. That's fair, right? And when disputes start showing up, people start asking questions. Not because they're against the project, because they were told the project was supposed to help. There's a difference. The fastest way to create disappointment isn't failure, it's expectation. But here's the part that surprised me. Because, while people are debating what's happening around Obama's seat, Obama's legacy now. Others are digging all the way back to the beginning.
The 2008 race, Democratic operatives in Indiana were convicted of faking signatures on the presidential petitions that put then Senator Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton on the ballot. So many signatures were phony that authorities said the president may not have actually had enough signatures to qualify for the primary ballot. So you didn't write that?
I did not.
You didn't cast a ballot?
I did not.
Did you vote?
No.
Did you fill out an absentee ballot? Nope. Did you fill out an absentee ballot application? Nope. I didn't fill out any of those. So your vote was a fraud. It was. In Kentucky, prosecutors said 20 public officials stole elections by buying votes, spending $400,000 to buy 8,000 votes over several elections. You sold your vote. Mm-hmm. How much did you sell your vote for? $25. Well, in Cincinnati, veteran poll worker Hillary Richardson was charged with voting in the 2008 and 2012 presidential election not once, but 2 and 3 times. She pled no contest to 4 counts, including voting for her sister, who had been in a coma for a decade. In Pennsylvania, 7 election officials have been hit with election fraud charges, deaths in the last year and a half, from cases of illegal voting to tampering with voting machines and adding phony votes. You know, a 2012 report by a Philadelphia Republican City Commissioner found voting by non-registered individuals, voting divisions with more votes than voters.
Subscribe. You guys haven't already. Subscribe. Appreciate it. Thank you. We are growing. This is my YouTube channel.
Individuals voting more than once and voting by non-U.S. citizens. And election fraud actually hit the race for the White House in the 2008 race. Democratic operatives in Indiana were convicted of faking signatures on the presidential petitions that put then Senator Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton on the ballot. So many signatures were phony that authorities said the president may not have actually had enough signatures to qualify for the primary ballot. Is that your signature on this?
That's not my signature.
Did you sign this petition for Barack Obama?
No.
You did not?
No.
I did not sign for Barack Obama. So someone forged this. That's correct.
Damn.
So this is how it works in Indiana. It is unbelievable. You need 500 signatures from each congressional district in Indiana. In South Bend, President Obama qualified with 534 signatures. The prosecutors said 100 to 200 signatures were faked, so that brings the Obama number down below the legal number that he needed to qualify. The prosecutor told me, had this been caught at the time, Maria, the president probably would not have qualified for the ballot and would have been bounced from that primary ballot, but this fraud wasn't caught until 3 years after the election.
This is unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. Now, this is where I want people to slow down. Whether old political, when I see these old political stories resurface, especially from nearly 2 decades ago, I just need y'all to separate documented events from internet mythology. What we do know is there are documented petition fraud cases involving local operatives in Indiana. That's public record. What people still debate is what that means beyond that. But notice something. The reason stories like this keep coming back isn't necessarily because people suddenly discovered something new. It's because trust has become...
A political revolution is sweeping throughout Latin America, and now it's the Marxists who are on the run. The nation of Colombia has officially rejected their far-left social government and elected their own Trumpian firebrand, who's ready to take their nation, indeed the whole of Latin America, into a new conservative era. Freedom and liberty are ringing around the world, and you're about to get a front row seat on how MAGA is changing the whole of the Western Hemisphere like never before. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, enjoying yet another
glorious day in the civilizational awakening that's remaking our world. So if you want a front row seat on all the latest happenings, the rise of a new conservative age, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. So yesterday, the 21st of June, Colombian voters went to the polls for a long-awaited presidential runoff, a cliffhanger that had the entire world watching to see if their far-left socialist Iván Cepeda could stave off the surge in right-wing populist sentiment channeled by the Trump-backed outsider Abelardo de la Espriella. Cepeda had promised continuity with the hyper-leftist government of Gustavo Petro, but de la Espriella offered the complete opposite. He's a conservative Catholic seen here praying the rosary with his family, and he ran under the banner of Defenders of the Homeland on a platform of mega prisons modeled on El Salvador's Bukele model, full-scale military operations against drug trafficking cartels, aerial fumigation of cocoa crops, fiscal austerity, and a complete rebuilding of the U.S.-Colombia relationship that Petro had spent 4 years systematically destroying. Yesterday, Colombians went to the polls, and within just hours, take note, California, within mere hours, Colombia announced that de la Espriella was their new president. The socialist nightmare was over, and celebrations erupted throughout the streets.
No problem, Patrick. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Within hours, the congratulations were pouring in. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called de la Espriella personally. Argentine President Javier Milei posted, quote, "Today, the majority of Colombians chose the path of economic freedom, prosperity, unwavering security, and telling organized transnational crime and drug trafficking, enough already. Freedom advances across all of Latin America, and there is no turning back." Chilean President Jose Antonio Cast declared a new stage of freedom begins for Colombia. And President Trump simply wrote, he won big. It was close. He won by just a couple of percentage points. But actually, tons of people came out. More people had actually come out to vote for de la Espriella than any previous Colombian presidential candidate in history. So he did, in fact, win big. He was particularly popular among Colombian expats living in North America and Europe who voted for him overwhelmingly, just like the Peruvian expats.
No problem, Brian. No problem.
For Keiko Fujimori.
No problem, Brian Riddy. No problem at all, man. Thank you, guys.
Fujimori in Peru, who just won their presidential elections a few weeks back. Latin American expats are overwhelmingly nationalist populists, like we see with Cubans and Venezuelans here in the United States. They're MAGA and Trumpian through and through.
Right, they're part of the Jim Crow laws. And that's why Chuck Schumer, you know what I'm saying Jim Crow 2.0, because it was about the illegals. It wasn't about us. And you know what I'm saying? But people thinking, oh, it's about us. We all got our IDs as an American with no problems. We all went in that line and we waited and we paid our money for our stuff.
Through. And they're now, with each successive election, getting their countries back. Already a number of Colombian social media accounts are preparing their return home. They're so excited. They know that if Colombia goes the way of El Salvador, if Colombia does what El Salvador did, this is the new normal. The defenders of the homeland will have...
Right, you got homeless people right now, you know what I'm saying, asking for money. You got homeless people right now asking for money, and guess what? They got IDs to go ahead and buy their alcohol or get, you know what I'm saying, their medication, depending what it is. And they need IDs for that. They need ID to go to Walgreens, CVS, whoever the local pharmacy they can go to. They need IDs to get their medication. And these supposed to be the poorest of the poorest, the ones on EBT, you know, SNAP. They got IDs. I don't get it. And at one point, when it came back in the day, when it came to having your link card, you needed your ID to use your link card to make sure it was you. Now you can just use the card freely without an accent. It's never a switch. I don't understand. I can show many videos that never switched. It was the people switching. You know what I'm saying? They want stuff for free. And that's what happened for blacks and whites. You know what I'm saying? The government said, hey, the administration at that time, I think it was Roosevelt, I don't know which president it was, but he offered stuff kind of free, and they went with it. You know? And Democratic Party is a party for the poor. And I've been told that. I'm 43 and I was little. They're like, well, the party of the poor is a Democrat, the party of the rich is a Republican. They were like, so you want me to go for poor or go for rich? I thought we should be going for rich, you know what I'm saying? Get the money. But the Democratic Party is all about, you know what I'm saying, keeping you down, relying on them. And then they get mad. Now they mad because they can't buy sugary drinks. That's crazy. I can play a video about 5 minutes breaking down about the switch. I can play 10 minutes. I can play a whole hour. They almost say the same thing. It's the people. The people decided to go ahead and do that. Maybe 1 or 2 people from the Democratic Party went to the Republican Party, but that's not like 2 people, I believe. That's nothing. That's not the whole party, period. Let's see.
All right, this legendary black conservative just dropped a truth bomb about the Democrat Party.
Oh, he's preaching right now.
The Democrats founded the Klan. I didn't know when I was in high school that Democrats voted against the 13th Amendment that freed the slaves, the 14th Amendment that gave slaves citizenship, the 15th Amendment that, at least on paper, gave slaves the right to vote. Democrats voted against all of that stuff. I didn't know when I was in high school that more Republicans as a percentage of the party voted for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 than did Democrats. I didn't know that. I also bought into that notion that, okay, Democrats used to be racist, but then Republicans switched places with them in the 60s.
Never happened.
I bought into that until I found out that of all the Democrats that voted against the Civil Rights Act in the House, of all the Democrats that voted against the Civil Rights Act in the Senate, only 2 switched the Republican Party. One of whom was Strom Thurmond. George Wallace, who stood in front of the school door as a Democratic governor saying segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. He died a Democrat. Robert Byrd, who was a Kliegel, that means a recruiter for the Klan, he died a Democrat at 100 years old in the Senate. Most of these guys never switch parties. It is a lie. The reason the South became more and more Republican is because the Democratic Party became more and more left-wing, became anti-Vietnam, anti-war, pro-abortion, and the South became increasingly uncomfortable with their allegiance to the Democratic Party, especially since Jim Crow had fallen. If Jim Crow has fallen, why are we in bed with these Democrats? What's the point? And so the South became more and more Republican for a reason that had nothing to do with racism, but that was the line that was fed by so many people, and so many blacks to this day believe that.
All right, so if you don't know who that is Larry Elder, the legendary black conservative Larry Elder, truly a giant in this whole conservative movement in general. And what he's getting at here is the fact that a lot of people really do not know their history about the Democrat Party, right? They do not know this is the party that founded the KKK. They do not know, black Americans, white Americans, everybody do not know that Democrats were the party that historically stood in the way of black American progress in this country, right? That's just something that a lot of people don't know. Now, I would say over the past 35 to 40 years, there's been a definite shift in how they are pushed via entertainment, via the media, via certainly the journalism industry, particularly a lot of entertainment and people in that industry that are targeted towards blacks. And so now there's a lot of black Americans that believe that the Democrat Party is for them, it's for the people. They are, apparently the last line of defense to keep us from becoming slaves again, which is what they say every election cycle. So it's all pretty ridiculous, and good on Larry Elder for breaking that down and giving you a little history lesson. All right, this...
Bing, bing, bing.
I don't like chicken no more. What? You can start not liking chicken. You eat chicken all the time. No, you just start liking. Everybody else ate chicken right now.
The party switch is a myth. It's rooted in political strategy. I mean, it's so strange to me hearing people go after people like Chili or Nick Cannon or Amber Rose whenever they say, okay, and to my knowledge, Nick Cannon didn't even say that he was a Republican. He simply just stated facts. For some reason, this really upset people. We came out and we saw people literally flood to Chili's page in droves to tell her how she was a traitor to the Black community, how the Black community is, quote unquote, the reason why she's successful, likening her decision making on who she's going to support politically to who she's in a relationship with, because she's in a relationship with a non-Black individual, and somehow they're saying he has now influenced her decision making. They're saying everything but the obvious, in that people are motivated by incentive structure. So if someone votes a certain way, it's usually because they feel that's the person that is going to best put policies in place that will serve their life. That is how we're supposed to vote. Or someone who aligns with their values. What's the most frustrating part about this is seeing people say that you are not loyal or you are a traitor to the Black community if you support Republicans, when history tells us a very different story. The Democratic Party, as Nick Cannon said, is factually the party of the hooded people. They always have been. They have always inflicted suffering, pain, and injustice against Black Americans historically. You can vote however you like. You can support whatever party you want and still be Black and still love being Black and still be Hispanic or Asian or white or whatever. This is a free country. So you vote in a way that you see fit. You vote for the person you think is going to either do a good job or who has the best track record. But back to this idea that you're only Black if you vote Democrat is so perplexing to me, considering the historical facts. And so once you say that, wait, so Black Republicans are not Black? You mean the party that was created by Black men and abolitionists? But then you'll be met with, but the party switched. And so many content creators have factually come out and just shared the facts, and they are always met with so much emotional turmoil, because what people experience when they hear that is a lot of cognitive dissonance. Because the narrative has been, the widespread mainstream narrative has been, oh yeah, there was some sort of party switch. Well, history is much more complex than that. To simply pledge your allegiance to the Democratic Party and culturally make that be the thing. It's like, no, the messaging is that white people are bad, but not Democrats. If they're Democrats, they can't be bad. If they're Republicans, they're bad by default. So let's actually get into it. The party switch is a myth. It's rooted in political.
Ooh.
Pretty shocking, actually, as the evidence that the jury saw is now finally being released. Not all of it, but a lot of it, before they sentenced him to 35 years in prison for killing Austin Metcalf. And like the bottom line is all the stuff that these agitators who refuse to accept that this guy committed murder is proof positive. I mean, it's just beyond any doubt, never mind a reasonable doubt, what happened here. And like the revisionist history by this activist class is just stomach turning. And you look at this evidence, and we're getting some more descriptions now of the stuff that wasn't shown. It's like the dishonesty of these people is just so patent. Who want to reframe this? It's absurd. It's absurd. I thank God that the vast majority of the American public understands what happened here, white or black or other color for that matter. And it's just this agitator class, like these folks who are outside of the courthouse down in Texas, and then the more elite Jamel Hill, overly educated types who have spent so much time in the DEI web that they just are entangled in it. They're trapped like a bug in a spider's web. It's inescapable for them. They're going to live their entire life seeing everything through that prism. And unfortunately, we live in this world with them, so we're going to be subjected to the madness too. It was an 8-woman, 4-man jury. They reached their verdict after hearing 5 days of arguments and testimony earlier this month. On Friday, Collin County Judge John Roach, the same district judge that oversaw the trial, released some of the trial evidence to the public. But because no cameras were allowed in the courtroom, the public is seeing all of this for the first time, and it came out piecemeal. And of course, because it's a court, they don't release it in like an organized, understandable way. And to be honest, most of the media has been too lazy to actually organize it and present it the way it ought to be. So we got it. The released evidence includes surveillance footage showing chaos minutes after the stabbing. Also a 911 call where you can hear Hunter Metcalf pleading for his brother Austin, the victim, to stay conscious. And Carmelo Anthony telling cops, as we heard right from day one in this case, I'm not alleged. I did it. I'm not alleged. I did. Thank God he said that. Like, who knows where this crazy defense would have gone if he hadn't so clearly admitted it all on camera. I don't know if you're some lunatic out there who's going to paint Carmelo as the victim and Austin as the perpetrator, yeah, you might say he didn't even plunge the knife in. Oh, we would have heard something about how like white people can't tell black people apart. We've heard that before. But he's there. It's clear as day. He said he did it. They had no wiggle room. So they had to go.
Slim Fat Boy, I really appreciate you being in the chat, man. I really appreciate it. You're definitely welcome. Everybody's welcome to the chat. As long as not no bot repeating the same thing over and over again. You know, let's have an agreement conversation. Because nobody's right or wrong. It is what it is.
Go with self-defense, which was a lie that's still being pushed. And we'll talk about that too. All right, so we're going to walk you through some of the key evidence to try to give you a better understanding of what actually happened that day, notwithstanding the lies that perpetrate the media right now. On your screen here, you can see Austin Metcalf entering the stadium.
Right, it's not about racism. I don't understand how. I keep saying the same thing. Both schools had mixed kids. It wasn't just all white kids and all black kids. It was mixed kids. It was 20 kids that testified. They all said the same thing, that Anthony was bogus. Anthony should have been at the tent. He should never had no knife. You know, his intent was just bogus. You had time to go in your bag and to adjust your weapon and then to stab somebody. You had time to leave. You had time to leave. Period. You could have punched him. Not stabbed. You could have punched him, then ran.
There he is. Poor guy has no idea what's about to happen to him. The 17-year-old looking like the epitome of health and vigor. Just minutes before his murder, he has no idea his life is about to end. And here's Carmelo walking up to the bleachers from the steps in the middle of the stadium. He's highlighted in this video. He comes up the stairs and heads down toward the tent where Austin Metcalf was standing.
Getting blocked? That's crazy.
Teammates. I've got to say, like, throughout this, I don't see, like, the downpour that necessitated him. He had to go underneath the tent. I kept waiting to see like the monsoon conditions, like where's the wind rattling the top of that tent to where like he had to do this thing that would be considered highly inappropriate under any other circumstance.
Right, chat. Now, y'all see this, right? Everybody out there walking around. Nobody's like too much running because it's like heavy rain. Like, oh my God, it's heavy rain. He had to go get shelter. Everybody kind of like casually walking. Does anybody acknowledge that part? It was so bad of a rain. Why everybody just casually walking? I don't get that part either. You know what I'm saying? These little details people got to understand and pay attention to. He was already somewhere that he could have stayed away from the rain. He could have been right up under here from the rain. He could have been right there chilling. But everybody else walking and chilling, no problem. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Which is to go into an opposing team's home camp and sit with them. It's not there. He was an agitator. He was trying to prove something. And obviously he was loaded for bear. Before we show you more, I want to remind you what Carmelo's father, Drew Anthony, told that idiot over at the Breakfast Club, Mimi Brown, on June 11th. The most pathetic interview I've ever seen somebody do. You've got the father of a killer. And by the time you were done with that interview, Mimi, you had all but convinced your audience that it was the other way around. Nothing against her personally. Just the job she did that day was hideous. But here's a reminder on what the murderer's father said. There's surveillance footage, which we had not yet seen, but he had. He said this about what that surveillance footage would show. Watch.
And so the video that you all that they showed in court, it shows him running away from.
Yeah, he ran to the teacher. The teacher said that the teacher he ran to a guy, and the teacher he ran to actually he hugged him because Carmelo, he's not like he hugged the guy. Like he was freaking out, he hugged the guy. So the guy they was hugging, he was crying hysterically, and
that did not happen.
They tried to paint it as if he was trying to leave. But then in court, they should have said it, that he wasn't trying to leave.
Yeah.
Wow.
OMG. These are what we call lies. That's so unbelievable. That's not what happened at all. He made a run for it, and he was stopped by a teacher who put him in a bear hug to stop him from escaping. He needed a hug. Okay. In addition to what you just heard, there were many rumors on social media that the surveillance footage was going to display a group of boys ganging up on Carmelo. He was surrounded. We heard that before he stabbed Austin in self-defense, terrified. Well, we have the footage that was shown to the jury now. It's a little hard to make out, and we're going to show you a zoomed-in version in just a moment, okay? But screen left, you see a yellow tent. There's a group of students sitting underneath it. Near the top, you see a brief altercation. That's the moment when Carmelo Anthony stabs Austin Metcalf. You then see a figure highlighted running out of the top of the tent. That's Carmelo Anthony. See him running. He's highlighted here. He runs down the steps. He gets to the bottom of the bleachers, trips and falls.
They pointing
He
at
gets back
him.
up and keeps running. He knows what he's done. He runs until he gets to the end of the stadium bleachers and then appears to start walking. Got to play it cool. New people seeing you. Don't want to project panic. At one point, he turns back toward the stands and then starts running away again. He can see people are coming. And as he's running, you can see people chasing him and pointing at him. He knows what's happening here. It is the equivalent of a car chase, only it's on foot, as the perpetrator who commits a dastardly deed tries to get away. Carmelo slows his pace as he walks over toward a group of people. Okay, so to go back to Carmelo's dad, Drew, who's a liar, who tried to say the video doesn't show Carmelo trying to leave. It's a lie. He is fleeing. And the reason he needed a lie is because fleeing a scene, a criminal scene, is admissible in court as consciousness of guilt. And that's exactly what was argued. Because we can all see that's what it is with our own damn eyes.
Damn it.
We're about to show you 3 critical up-close videos of what happened under the tent. These were enhanced by Robbie Harvey, a true crime social media journalist on X. In this close-up video at the top of the tent, you see Carmelo Anthony walk in and sit down under the tent where the murder occurred. Carmelo runs for another team. Again, there was no reason for him to be inside that tent, and he knew it was provocative to do this. A few minutes later, you see Austin Metcalf get up and move next to where seated. Witnesses say Austin was trying to get Anthony to leave the team's tent. Here you see two people appear to push each other. Within seconds, Carmelo is seen running out of the top of the tent. By our count, it was about 4 seconds between the pushing and Carmelo running out of the tent. I mean, there was no build-up. There was no long altercation. He shoved a knife in another boy's heart and then made a run for it. After Carmelo ran away from the scene and to the end of the stadium, he's eventually brought back closer to the crime scene by teachers. Not because he wanted to, but because they made him. They made him. According to CBS Texas, Memorial High School athletic trainer, that's where Austin went, Tiffany Whitaker, first stopped Carmelo and then handed him off to Heritage High School head football coach Vincent Hooper. According to journalist Sarah Fields, who was inside the courtroom for the entire trial, Whitaker testified that she got in front of Anthony as he was running, put her hands up to keep him from leaving, and then yelled at Coach Hooper, "Hey, this kid stabbed someone, don't let him leave," end quote. This is when Coach Hooper put his arms around Carmelo in a hugging fashion to prevent him from leaving the stadium. Quoting there, I'm quoting. That's the testimony that was given. He didn't need a hug. What a fucking liar, I'm sorry. The father's a liar. The parents are liars. They hired a lying spokesperson to represent them, a race hustler too, which appears to apply to the parents as well, not to mention their core supporters and their grandmother, Carmelo's grandmother, who kept chanting racist, biased, racist, biased after the guilty verdict. Why don't you try accepting responsibility, okay? Maybe if you hadn't had such an entitled attitude that's blind to facts, we wouldn't be in this mess to begin with. Your grandson would be free and Austin Metcalf would still be alive. We also now have the video of Carmelo being taken into custody shortly after all of this, where Carmelo Anthony leaves no doubt. Austin, he tells the officer, "Not alleged, I did it." Watch.
It's the alleged suspect. Okay. No, I'm not. I know how it goes. I'm not alleged.
Hey, Captain Save, see that? He said he did it. You keep on saying he fell on it. Stop trying to be a bot, man. That's why I blocked you if you're still in the chat. Do your research, man. Y'all just jumping people's chats with no research. Just want to be seen, be heard. Go play the PlayStation or get your Xbox, man. This ain't that on this chat. Let's continue. Keep saying the same thing. He fell on it. He did not fall on it. The man just admitted he did it.
There it is. I mean, honestly,
CRX,
I'm not
no
alleged,
problem.
I did it. We know.
We got it. We own it.
And there's body camera
Appreciate
footage
you
from a
guys.
different officer as Anthony is arrested. You're going to hear him sound emotional when he tells the officer who had not yet asked him any questions about the crime, quote, "He put his hands on me." Watch.
All right, live in peace.
Memorial 10th over, guys. Start. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. I don't know yet, man.
Honestly.
Uncle Ruckus. Okay. Definitely call me Uncle Ruckus. Thanks for being in the chat. Appreciate it. Blocky. Okay, well, bye-bye. Fuck up out of here. That's crazy. They see the facts. They hear it. They see it. They still want to be in denial. That's crazy. He could have had a plea deal. That's why he had an unfair trial. His parents did him bogus. Took the plea deal. They didn't want that. They want that money. They want to keep on grifting.
Is he going to be okay? And the officer says, "I don't know yet, man." Carmelo doesn't
Yeah, you see that. I
understand
can't write
that he
back.
just committed a murder. And let me tell you something. That I believe those tears. I believe he was upset. I believe it was sinking into him in that moment what he'd done. And this isn't to take agency away from Carmelo Anthony, but I'm sorry, this is the fault of his parents.
Yeah.
This is his parents' fault.
They want the money. They want the clout.
Behaves like this, he's been raised wrong. Some severe failure has happened inside the home. Some sense of entitlement, more than likely some massive chip on one's shoulder that interprets regular teenage slights as existential, as something so offensive and deeply wounding that a man's life must be taken to avenge oneself. Oh, you're a tough guy, aren't you? He was so tough just 5 minutes earlier. Now he's reduced to tears like a crying toddler. Keep in mind, not 1 second of that grieving can compare in any way to what Hunter Metcalf was going through in the 10 steps away, to the pain and agony that Austin and Hunter's parents were about to receive when they got word what had happened to their son. But I accept Carmelo Anthony's tears and upset as authentic, and I think he has himself, clearly, but his parents to blame. We have to teach our children emotional regulation. That's a parent's job. Thanks for watching this clip. If you're new here, subscribe. We got a whole lot more goodness where that came from. Would love to hear your feedback. You can email me too, Megan, MEGYN @megankelly.com, or just leave a comment below. But join the community by becoming a subscriber. We really, really value your input and your support. We may not always agree, but we are always going to talk about it and respect. No BS, no agenda, no fear. For the first time since World War II, our national debt has exceeded the gross domestic product. America's reckless government spending keeps catching up with us. Higher inflation, higher prices, higher cost of living expenses, and higher interest payments.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Or I guess you could say the endless lies of the frickin' race hustlers and race grifters on this Carmelo Anthony story. And really, talk about a misguided endeavor. It was only a matter of time, friends. The idea that this video wasn't going to get released and then all these little scoundrels were going to get completely exposed in the process. Well, where do you think we are? Exactly where you would expect. All the video footage presented in court that helped the jury make this guilty verdict has officially been released, and well, it's
right. They took the plea deal, but they want the money. They want their house. They want their car. They want their social media account to look good. It was all BS. They played their son.
pretty much exactly what we expected. I think there's a reason why serial grifter Dominique Alexander couldn't lie. Even he couldn't continue the bogus when he was questioned whether the video showed that Carmelo Anthony was being jumped.
I didn't see him getting jumped. Oh, you know what I mean? Like I saw movement over there. I saw that there was multiple people around him, but I didn't see he was getting, you know what I mean, like the altercation. No.
Well, he couldn't say it because it was abundantly clear that they lied. It was obvious to everyone that the video was going to release and it would show the exact polar opposite. And well, now we have it for all to see. I think it's very clear why we got a unanimous verdict in, what was it, like 3-4 hours of deliberation. After critically analyzing all the video footage, there was 100% no legitimate claim of self-defense here. No, what I witnessed was frankly a hyper-reactive, emotional kid with bad intentions, with no ability to control his impulses. He got shoved on the shoulder and decided, this was his moment to ruin 2 families, to ruin 2 lives, stupid games and stupid prizes. Let me show you guys exactly what happened. Let's go over the evidence. And of course, hit these race hustler morons with unabashed truth. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So firstly, I want to show you guys the CCTV footage. We got a couple different angles. Just take a look at what transpired under the tent. Let me pull up the zoomed version. I can maybe play it on repeat. You know, what happened here was crystal clear, even though the video footage isn't. This doesn't look like a brutal assault. It certainly doesn't look like a gang assault on an
Right, people sitting down, some people standing up. Where is he being bullied at?
innocent black kid. No, it seems to correspond 1-for-1 with witness testimony. Austin Metcalf, we see this blurry body right at the highest bleachers under the... Looks like maybe a little shove. And then barely a second later, the whole ordeal is done, and Carmelo takes off running. He stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest and then immediately ran away, frankly, like a guilty coward. I think that running part is the smoking gun. He could have walked
Herbie,
away
what's
at
up,
any
man?
point
You
in
back?
this
What up,
situation
Herbie?
before the shove, but he chose to stay. He chose to argue. He chose to refuse and escalate. And even after the shove, he had every opportunity to back off, again to de-escalate, but instead he immediately reacted impulsively by stabbing the kid in the chest, delivering a swift, fatal blow. Then he bolts away in a panic, and I think that's really evidence of consciousness of guilt. And it also highlights just how easy it was for him to run away in the first place, to just leave.
Damn, there you go. You know what I'm saying? It was no heavy rain. People was walking around casual, no problem. They made it as if it was raining so bad, this boy had to get under a tent immediately. Come on, y'all. Remember, it's supposed to be bad weather, a tornado or something going on. They had to cancel the game and all the other stuff. Look at this, man. This boy run. If it was raining so bad, he would have slipped. He only slipped coming down because he was in panic mode. But he ain't fall.
He had two options here. It wasn't like he was in a life or death situation where the only escape was lethal force. No, there were two clear options. Walk away or commit bloody murder and throw your entire life away. Or, engage in a little bit of mutual combat if that's really, the path that you want to go down. But I'm just going to lump that in with de-escalation, moving away, anything but committing murder under the tent. To murder or not to murder. Those were basically the options. And well, he chose to murder. The video evidence here is damning. Actually, it's not just the CCTV footage. We also have body cam footage that kind of shows the state of mind and what was going on. This is the aftermath of the stabbing as Carmelo Anthony is being detained.
If somebody is shooting the victim, they could be over there.
Under a memorial tent.
Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there, bro. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects. And they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? Go ahead. I'll look here. I know I'm not.
Copy, I'll be around.
Help me, y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. Come on, put your handcuffs for now, okay? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now detained. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim is over here on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Already? No. We searched them. I don't know what happened.
443.
I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay?
All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Carmelo? Let's see, hold on.
There he is getting cuffed. He immediately confesses, saying, I'm not alleged, it was me. He then seems to attempt to justify his actions, saying, he put his hands on me. And right there, I think that's another nail in this kid's coffin. He put his hands on me simply isn't enough. There's a high bar for self-defense. If getting into an extremely light, nearly passive physical altercation was enough to end somebody's life, we'd probably have over 1,000 murders a day. I can't tell you how many times when I was in school, when I was a youngin', how many of these situations I got into with absolute douchebags that I went to school with. And in many cases, people put their hands on me. I've been shoved. I've been punched in the freaking face. And you know what I did in those situations? In some of the situations, I walked away. In other situations, I knocked the guy's jaw sideways. But not once did it ever occur to me that I should be carrying a knife. First of all, in the first place, I never went to school with a knife. And not once did it ever occur to me to pull out a deadly weapon and stab somebody in the freaking heart in a simple moment of conflict and tension. There is
Citizen, what up?
defending this. And I think even Carmelo knows this. I think he knew he was screwed immediately as he did it. The fact that he ran away from the scene, I think, proves it. His emotional breakdown after being arrested proves it. He gets cuffed and immediately starts crying like a little girl. He was melting down in that moment because he played stupid games, and well, now the stupid prize is what was clearly starting to flash before his eyes. In that moment, to me, the hyper emotion of it all, it really reveals the baseline of the story. There's no self-defense storyline.
Doing good, Citizen, doing good.
Lack of impulse control. He carried a knife to a high school track meet. He refused to leave when told. He got lightly shoved, and his ego couldn't handle it. He completely lost his mind and stabbed a kid and ran. He wasn't able to see the consequences in that moment. He had bloody, red-shot eyes, went full feral mode, and stabbed a kid straight to extreme violence, and he premeditated the whole thing. And that's what I was pointing to earlier in the intro. There's no self-defense here, no, just a hyper-reactive emotional kid with bad intentions. He was playing tough guy, refusing to leave, premeditating a deadly strike, saying, touch me and see what happens, bruh. Listen, bruh. While he was clutching a concealed knife, and I think also the physical nature of the knife kind of speaks to that, it was a flip knife. He had to actually unsheath the blade. He had it in his bag. He was taunting the kid, flipped the knife open, was hiding it, just waiting for his moment. I guess maybe in his mind, he thought it would be justified in that he would win the self-defense claim, but clearly the kid's not smart enough to understand basic self-defense law. So what he did was premeditate a murder. He escalated the situation and did not react proportionately. And well, that's exactly what we've been saying, and now I guess the proof's in the pudding. Proof's in the footage. It's undeniable. The jury got this right, and well, now I guess wait for all the copium to roll in. I'm curious to see what the next shifting of the goalpost is going to be from the Carmelo community. Well, one thing's for sure, I know it's going to be stupid, but arguably not as stupid as the behavior that Carmelo himself engaged in. And when you engage in that level of stupid games, well, you get seriously stupid prizes. And that's what this kid got. Absolutely deserved. To be honest, if he wasn't 17 years old, I'd be advocating for the death penalty. And now after reviewing the footage, frankly, I feel even more emboldened. Anyways, that's what I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Juneteenth. Time for celebrations across the country. While these people flipped over corporate logos and these people played some tubas, in other parts of the country, the saxophones got louder. They blared in places like Berkeley and in Milwaukee. But inevitably, some places came alive with the sound of music, like in Baltimore.
One of the largest African-American festivals on the East Coast, officers responded to a large fight, the disturbance involving 100 kids.
You saw large groups of juveniles running, fighting. It didn't really bother the main crowd around the stages, but you can see it on the outer skirts.
Down here, banging the hood today. It's Friday in the hood.
We also saw some Juneteenth chaos in South Carolina.
The city of Columbia is announcing a permanent unaccompanied minors policy.
effective immediately.
Anyone under the age of 18 to be accompanied by a parent, legal guardian, or adult over 21 after 5 p.m. at Finley Park. So this stroller is just going to stay here? And this guy is entering a combat zone with a baby? Anyway, let's head over to Pittsburgh.
Public safety says more young people are engaging in violence in the city of Pittsburgh. They say there were fights involving groups of teens throughout last night. And one of them, a large fight in Market Square involving 40 to 50 teens. There were several hundred teens in that area at the time. 3 guns were recovered. 5 adults were arrested on charges including aggravated assault. 4 teens were cited for disorderly conduct.
Juneteenth organizers are implementing a chaperone policy for minors.
In Nashville,
about a dozen teens agreed to meet on this street corner behind me for a planned fight. Now that's when officers tell us that things escalated and a 12-year-old was shot in the head.
and of course, how could we forget the star of the show, Chicago?
According to Chicago police, more than 40 people are hurt, 7 people are dead. After at least 2 dozen shootings broke out since 5 p.m. on Friday. The largest incident happened on Juneteenth on the far south side, when an SUV pulled up to a crowd that was outside and opened fire, wounding 12 people.
It should be celebrating, and fireworks should not turn into gunshots. Does a disservice to the community and what Juneteenth is supposed to stand for.
It's fucked up. That's crazy.
Zungu. And the logic they use to justify this, America, or they just hate living in Africa, although sometimes that is the case. Typically they're leaving because of challenges that are just too hard to ignore. That's why it's super important that we have an honest conversation about why Black Americans just can't seem to stay in Africa. Shalom, my name is No Limit Eddie. I'm an American and moved to Africa at just 21 years old, and I've documented the last 5 years of my travel journey right here on this YouTube channel to make your move to Africa even easier. If that sounds interesting to you, then drop a like on today's video. Let's kick this list off with reason number 1. So recently I met a Black American woman who's been living here in Uganda, and she owns some land here and has been hiring locals to help, develop it and build it. She's paying them more than they would earn if they work for other people in the area. She is paying them on time, which is super, super rare here in Uganda. And then number 3, she hires local women in the area to cook for the employees so they can eat while they're working. The workers keep stealing from her. They take the tools that she buys and they go to town and sell them. She buys 10 bags of concrete, but somehow only 6 of them end up on her work site. So now she has to watch everyone like a hawk. This brings me on to reason number 1 why many Black Americans leave Africa is, they feel like they're at a constant disadvantage. Most Africans that I've met believe that Black Americans are a result.
Yeah, disadvantage in America. You had a disadvantage in Africa.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Your first mistake was going to Africa and treating a bunch of them as if they're your equal. If I'm coming here and I'm hiring you, you answer to me. Come around, mess my ish up, you going back to your hut, bitch.
Oh, they probably would have, had them choppers and the machetes on their ass later.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
It's bad over the corruption.
Scatter Cat, it's okay. Yes, no problem. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Everybody's welcome to the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been 3 hours, you guys, and 9 minutes. Appreciate you guys being in the chat with me. I'm always here with you guys. Appreciate it. Let's continue.
I wouldn't want to. On your side. You just couldn't pay me to live in Africa. If they say all y'all going back to Africa, I'm jumping off the boat and drowning.
For real. White people and African people breeding together. And Mzungu means white man. They believe it's perfectly acceptable to lie to the Mzungu. to steal from the Mzungu, to mistreat the Mzungu. And the logic they use to like justify this or to make it okay is, well, you have money and I don't. And you see, being an American means you earn dollars, and earning dollars means, in eyes of locals, you are rich. Speaking of dollars, if you guys want to know how to continue to make U.S. dollars while you're traveling the world and living abroad, I highly encourage you to pick up a copy of
No bots in the chat. No bots.
Make your very first dollar online. Next point even has me question. It's just not a burden that they want to carry.
So Scared of Cat, what you got to offer to the chat? What's on your mind?
They think you have money, so
they're gonna take advantage of the fact that you have more than them.
That's what Black Americans do in America right now. So white folks, you're not peeping.
Oh yeah,
you're not peeping what's going on. You're not seeing the plot. This is the same shit.
Well, that's what he said. He said they call you Mzungu, which means you
Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already.
Americans to come there
And hit the all button. Hit the all button and subscribe if you haven't already, you guys. And hit that like button. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We are growing together. No bots in the chat. Let's be adults. Let's have some fun. Subscribe.
It's how Black people here in America look at white people.
Damn. It's facts. It's the same exact thing.
You're not one of us. You think you're too good, so if I could take advantage of you, I will.
Yeah. That's it.
And for some people, being an American in an African country is just not a burden that they want to carry. And so they leave. Now, this next point even has me questioning if I want to stay in Africa. And that is reason number 2. Now, imagine your best friend rents out an Airbnb for 2 weeks. And then they call you over and say they need help moving. And so they're having you move all of the owner's furniture into the garage, and they're moving their furniture from the U-Haul into the place. They got you dragging couches up the stairs, right? Then they got you drilling holes in the drywall so they can hang up their family photos on the wall. And on top of that, they're having you repaint the living room to their favorite color. And as you're painting the living room, they say, yo, hold things down really quick. I'm going to go ahead and change my official mailing address to this Airbnb. That way my tax returns and my bank statements come here. You're going to tell your friend, yo, you're crazy. You're wasting your time, your energy, and your money on a place that's not even yours. Well, that's actually exactly what most expats are doing. And that brings me on to reason number 2, why so many Black Americans leave Africa, and that is the lack of stability. Most Black Americans are setting up their long-term lives on tourist visas. You see, a tourist visa, like on the high end, will allow you to stay in the country for about 90 days. But budget travelers have found a bit of a glitch in the system. You see, when you fly out the country for 24 hours and fly back in, well, they're going to issue you a new visa. So what many Black Americans are doing is they spend 90 days in the country, then they fly out for 24 hours, come back in for another 90 days. Times you spent 12 months in that country. And as they say, the math is mathing, right? But this is also how many people get caught with their pants down. Remember the example of a friend who booked the Airbnb and they moved all their stuff in and moved the owner stuff out? They may have a plan that's quite similar to where they're like, look, I got the spot for 2 weeks. Don't worry, before the 2 weeks expire.
Welcome to the chat, Glenn. 6574. Welcome to the chat.
I'll rebook for another 2 weeks and then rebook for another 2 weeks. It's going to work perfectly. And it might work great for a while, but then one day they check the app and the owner has closed out the booking availability. They had to figure out how to move all their stuff out quickly, how to get a U-Haul, how to move the owner stuff back in, how to repaint the walls, how to fill in the holes, and how to take all their photos down. That scenario of like your plan falling apart has happened so many times. It actually happened to hundreds, if not thousands of people, Black Americans, in Tanzania while I was living there. So then it becomes, well, if you're smart, what you do is you only buy and own things that you can easily fit in your backpack or in your suitcase. And that trade-off means you never really feel comfortable. And many people are just not willing to make that trade-off. And so reason number 2 is bad, but
it's crazy that they enforce their border laws there. You never heard them being called racist or anything like that, but America does it, and now it's an extreme problem, and you got to question our humanity and stuff. That is a freaking amazing point. I don't know, man. The point he's like, so basically everything he boils down to is the locals are shady and will do you dirty. and take advantage of your wealth.
They look at you as an outsider. People, I think Black Americans are confused because they think that these are my people.
I don't think that. I do not think that.
I know you don't, but you know a lot of them do. They think they're gonna go there and it's gonna be like Wakanda.
I'm black, you're black, we're good.
Oh yeah. It's like, you green that nigga. I don't want you like that.
They don't know. There's other Africans slaughtering other Africans.
They don't rock with each other. You know?
That's why they don't have shit now. They can't get along with each other. You think they about to get along with you? Y'all think we just don't get along because we mad and poor in America. Okay, they even madder and poorer over there, buddy.
They kick you off your religion. Slavery still going on over there.
This is just like a white person moving to the hood and think he gonna be accepted by the ninjas in the hood. Brother, they don't accept each other. They got gang beef with each other. You think they gonna rock with you?
They from one street over. I'm gonna kill them.
You see, I'm seeing the mirror. It's mirrored problems in the hood in America. But the thing is, the worst hood in America is better than some of the best things in Africa. And I've been there, and I'm just telling you, to Cameroon. In Cameroon, the worst hood I've ever seen in America would have been one of the best places in Cameroon.
That's why I say privileged.
They privileged. They privileged and they spoiled.
They're privileged terrorists.
Quick question. How much control do you have of your money right now? Technology is
over 3 years. I have residency. I have a national ID. I got a motorcycle. I could go back to Egypt right now today and be overly sturdy. But
I wasn't
right
in
now in
Africa.
Uganda, I'm doing that whole tourist visa nonsense that I just told you about. Now, why would I leave residency to come deal with the tourist visa nonsense? Enough said. But I really do hate all of that like tourist visa nonsense. And so I decided to have a sit-down conversation with a high-profile immigration lawyer here in the country. And the biggest takeaway from the meeting is that I qualify for one visa, which is the
USA, baby.
visa, and it comes at a cost of $7,500. Now, that same week that we had the meeting, as I'm thinking through, what do I want to do? We had a 16-hour power outage in my area. So that brings me on to reason number 3 why many Black Americans decide to leave Africa, and that is there are better options. You see, of course, I'm not going to pay $7,500 for a piece of paper that lets me stay in a country that doesn't even provide me with stable electricity. What you end up doing is you look for other options in other countries, and you find that there's way better options. For example, in Paraguay, all I have to do is go there with a birth certificate, go there with a background check from the FBI, and they're going to issue me a 2-year temporary residence permit. And after those 2 years,
Mentally me, welcome to the chat. You're right.
After those 3 years, I'm able to apply for citizenship. If you want to get citizenship in Africa, you basically have to figure out how to walk on water because you need to be doing miracles. And to make things even crazier, it's like with these places that are giving you easy residency, easy citizenship, the malls are nicer, the roads are nicer, the quality of life is better. You can fly around the continent of South America for $50, $100 from country to country. The truth is, I'm in a very unique position in life to where I can truly have the world open to me. It doesn't matter if I'm in Africa, if I'm in Asia, if I'm in South America.
Yeah, I think he's making a lot of valid points. I mean, the outages, there's just a lot of problems there. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
I mean, the fact that he just tied that into there's better options. No shit.
That's why.
That's pretty obvious.
That's
they
why.
live in huts and walk around.
Right, it's about morals. You're right. Mentally me, welcome to the chat. That's right.
In the arms of the angels commercial. I said I would never go there.
It's rough.
I would never go
even the places where it's not like that, where it's like somewhat modern, there's just still like power outages, little problems like that. They just will stack up, and you'll just see. I mean, America, you don't realize it. Anyone who thinks America is not the best country in the world, even in Europe, right? You think of Europe, you think of rich and but most places don't have AC in Europe.
Really?
Most hotels don't have AC. You go to a hotel, you'll be in a room with like bunk beds. There'll be random other people in there.
Oh, that's a hostel. That's not a hotel.
But they have them. Like that's a lot of them over there.
You know, it's a stat that they says more people dying for heat exhaustion in Europe than gun violence in America.
That's freaking insane.
Whoa.
It's a stat, yes. A real life.
You see? I
really feel like all the problems that he's highlighting just stem from the lack of development that Africa has, and that is really just known for being an undeveloped entire continent.
Now, a huge reason that people move to Africa is that they're expecting to have a reduced cost of living. But the thing is, in Africa, yesterday's price is not always today's price. And that brings me on to reason Number 4. So imagine you have a savings account and you check the balance one night before bed and it says $10,000 in it. Okay, not bad. And then you decide to check it again at the end of the month. You haven't added anything to it, but you also haven't spent anything out of it. So you're expecting it might be just a little bit above 10K because, a little interest payment should have hit. But when you check the account, however, you only see $6,700. Your heart's going to drop. You're going to ask yourself, well, where the heck did all my money go? You see, the Americans over in Ghana didn't have to imagine that scenario because that's practically what happened to them. In April to May of 2025 over in Ghana, the exchange rate completely flipped against those who held US dollars. And so overnight, everything became 30% more expensive. That's why my reason number 4 why many Black Americans leave Africa is that sometimes Africa gets too expensive. Now, sometimes the exchange rate changing is only a temporary thing, but other times it's permanent and continues to get worse. And so many people have like this false concept that Africa is cheap. And Africa is only cheap if you're going to live like a local. But for those of you guys who are watching this video on your 55-inch TV screen or your brand new iPhone, you're not ready to live like a local. And so Africa will not be cheap for you. You're not ready to not have a hot water heater in your home. You're not ready to take showers with a bucket. You can't stomach eating these same 5 foods in very similar combinations every single day. You're just not cut out for it, and neither am I. And so what happens is, in many cases, when people start seeing the cost of living, the cost of food, the cost of rent rising too quickly, most of the time what they actually do is go to a place where they're able to earn more money. And a lot of times that place happens to be back to the States. And so I get one question a lot, which is like, can I move to Africa on Social Security? Can I move to Africa on fixed income? My answer is always yes and no. Okay, yes, because my cost of living is less than $1,000 per month, right? But no, in the fact that at any given time, something out of your control, let's just say, for example, the exchange rate can shift, and now when you were living comfortable, you're now extremely uncomfortable because your cost of living has tripled overnight, right? And so it's important that even if you are on a fixed income, you find a way to still generate income, just so you have these backup streams, these backup supplies that can cover you in case of that fluctuation.
I would never highlighting the problems, bro. I would literally never live in Africa. I wouldn't live nowhere else besides the U.S. Bro. That's crazy. He said,
if I can't have a gun.
He said it gets expensive. It gets expensive to live in a hut where the hut dwellers will come rob you and steal from you and mistreat you. Even if you give them opportunity to rise above their hut dwelling, they will mistreat you, and there's no stability, and they'll steal your home and constantly try to way to finesse and connive you. And then on top of that, everything may flip and you may lose 50% of what your money's worth. This is the worst PR Africa has ever had. Like, it's not only on top that this was already my conception of Africa, my perception of Africa, but now we have a guy who's living there for 5 years giving the worst PR I've ever heard in the most calming tone I've ever heard. He's just telling the truth. He's just telling what it is. Everybody else, they see Wakanda and they think that it's Wakanda. They got real problems there. Those people are really oppressed in real life. Not pretend, like really starving. They say people out here thugging because they starving. No. Over there, they will. So they will. If you got it, they will come get that. Up off you. They said, you're more likely to get robbed by the police. You bought up by police. The police will, we need that, bud. Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call, bud?
Your tears.
You gonna call Trump?
God.
You see? It's rough over there, but I'm telling you, you don't know how good you have it in America. Got you a school bus. You can live off the state. You can go get you all types of free food and EBT and, PPP loans, and, you can go to college for free. You can go to junior college. You can do all these things.
You can get a credit card.
You can get
a car.
You can do all types of things. But it's, again, if you can't figure it out here, then you just weren't meant to figure it out. You were destined to fail. Yeah. You cannot be successful in America. Remember, we met, bro, in the airport from Cameroon. He said, it is hell. Those were his words. He says, in America, I could never be poor. As long as I have 2 arms and 2 feet, I will always have money. And it's very interesting. I would like to highlight the fact that every time I meet someone who comes from Africa, and they come to America. They take full advantage of all the resources. They go for scholarships. They work hard. They build themselves up, and they're almost always educated and successful. And these people have come from the bottom of the bottom.
And that's why, bro, because they know what real oppression is. They know what real struggle look like. And that's why I say that black people today are still enslaved. They're enslaved in the mind.
Yeah.
They're enslaved mindset. The slavery now is worse than slavery used to be.
Yeah.
Because you're enslaved in the mind. As a man thinketh, so is he, says the Bible. If you think that you can't do nothing, and we thinking it's no other way, my brother, it's no other way. Yes, there's literally thousands of other ways. You don't have to be that smart. You can do something tough. Just be a little tougher than everybody. Just suffer a little more. If you don't want to do that, then get a little smarter. Get you a skill. But all you have to do is stick to one thing and be consistent. And no matter what it is, you will be straight. You can be a cop. You can be a plumber. You can be a trucker. You can go be a teacher. You can be a coach. You can be anything. But no, you want to be in the streets.
Are Americans coming over here being nasty, doing nasty things, and being bad to the locals? Now, let me flip the script, okay? Let's talk about the fact that we get abused over here, too. But the thing about Ghana is stop crying victim. Stop crying victim, because y'all cheat us out of a lot of stuff. Y'all invited us to come home, which by the thousands we did. We came running to Ghana. People sold their homes, moved out of their apartments, sold everything. Some people packed up containers and moved over here just to get over here and realize this is not our home. Y'all call us foreigners. Ghanaians call us that. We didn't make that word up. We didn't start calling ourselves that. We don't know that that's what y'all call the white people and the Chinese because we're not around them. But we know that that's what y'all call us. I ain't never heard the word before, Toby, till I came to Ghana. Okay. Y'all invite us home. Let's talk about what y'all do to us. Starting from the before we get to the airport, we got to have a visa that we pay for to even enter our home. We pay all this money for passports and visas to get here. We get to the airport, and as soon as you see a blue passport, everybody's coming for us. Can you give me something small at the COVID place? You get to immigration. Can you give me something small? You get to baggage. Can you give me something small? I have never seen nowhere in any country or state where people have openly, it says $60 for foreigners, $30 for locals, okay? You go to Cocoon Park, and I don't remember the price. Let's say $200 for foreigners, because that's what y'all call us, $40 for locals. You go to the castle, it's $60 for foreigners, $10 for locals. I ain't never seen that nowhere. I ain't never went nowhere in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada where it said you pay, if you a local, if you're from here, you pay $3 for a Coca-Cola, but if you're a foreigner, you pay $8 for a Coca-Cola. I ain't never seen that nowhere, except that.
Well, man,
she kept saying our home. Obviously, this is not your home. Obviously, they're mistreating you. I don't understand why you were even foolish enough to believe that it was better to move to an underdeveloped nation than America. You could never convince me.
They think it's
because it's so racist in America, and they have
we need to go to our home, man, my brother, and we're gonna have our own banks and our own money, and we gonna make and George. No,
it's really so simple. If you want to be around more black people in America, move to the South.
Oh, you don't want to
go to DC,
or you go to Maryland.
Go to DC. Go to Maryland.
You don't want to live where a bunch of black people live in America.
Yeah, you do. And DC and Maryland, they the bourgeois.
Both places, you know what they also do? Murder.
I'm talking about around black people. I'm talking about the rich areas where they make $100K.
There's like one or two of those.
Yeah, in DC
and all of
and Atlanta,
and that's it.
Yeah.
Every other black in Atlanta, both the places you would get murdered too.
They gonna treat you worse if you're not a part of that bourgeois.
Because they don't want any of them. They don't want to get any of them.
I was actually watching a video of this girl who moved to DC, and she said that they called they had like a term that they called poor black people, the low ends or some shit. And she was like, I just found that to be so offensive. Like in Michigan, we don't do that. I said, well, they do that. I said, actually, they sound like my kind of people.
Yeah, man. The grass ain't always greener. They say that's true, and it's very true. But especially when it comes to moving countries, I would not move. I don't care. I wouldn't move to Dubai. I would not move to no other country. I don't care if it's the nicest country. I'm not leaving America no matter what.
You're not technically a citizen there.
You're not a citizen. It's not my home.
You don't have no rights.
I'm not doing that. I like how things go around here. I got my guns. We got Jesus. You know, everybody speaks my language. My family. Like, why do you leave? You think you're that oppressed? They couldn't let me be the president. If I'm the president, oh, okay. All murderers. Huh! You in the Nigeria jail, buddy. We'll see you right to, we'll give them the money for it.
I'm bringing back slavery.
You know what they would do? They would stop murdering. They would stop murdering. I guarantee you they would. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I would make it where you either get life or death. And if you get life, you have to do internment.
Go over there, do it over there. Help them develop. That's what we can do. They'll do it. Oh, they'll do it. I promise you. Free workers, come on back.
Free workers, and you can hit them with a whip.
Yeah, do whatever you want. They'll do it. Oh, no, that's why I was crazy, though.
I'm bring back slavery.
I wasn't joking. You want murder? All right. You're like, so you want to take a life, you forfeit your life.
Send Carmelo over there. All right, we go, y'all.
I convinced him. It's a bunch of tech support scammers.
Why don't we go to Joy Reid? She's also a race hustler, so the flow is okay, but she's a nutcase, and she kind of makes me laugh. Like, she doesn't upset me. She just kind of makes me laugh. These days, thank God she no longer has that show on MS Now. I realize nobody watches MS Now, but they shouldn't be platforming people like that Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid. These are nutcases. Like, that's just freaking crazy. Just can't be doing that. And here's the latest example of why she lost her show and was too much even for them.
Because in many ways, and with apologies to my dear spicy white friends, because I know that my white brothers and sisters do love a 4th of July. It is Independence Day. Everybody's barbecuing. It's a thing. I can promise you, black folks, we will take that day off. We will barbecue because we off. But black people, that nobody black I know is really excited about the 4th of July, because it is what Frederick Douglass said it is. It is the celebration of slaveholders who freed themselves from having to pay taxes to the crown for their slave empire. And that is what it is.
Okay, then you need to meet other black people, Joy Reid, because there's not a black person I know who won't be celebrating July 4th as avidly and excitedly as most of their fellow Americans. Still, 250 years later, still we're hung up on, women are not mentioned in the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal. They don't mention women. Most of us have moved on. We're not really holding a grudge that we weren't explicitly included. We understand the spirit of change was in the air, and that eventually we would be recognized as full, equal citizens here in America. And same is true for black people. America's not perfect. We didn't get it right from the founding. That doesn't mean you don't celebrate the country. All right? You need to meet better black people, Joy Reid. Spend some time with Glenn Lowry, for example. He'll give you a little lesson. In fact, right here, we're going to drop in part of his rant on our show that my team knows is among my favorite clips we've ever generated here on the MK Show, which was started almost 6 years ago. And he was defending America and against charges like this lunatic's nonsense. And as we head into the July 4th, what's it called? Fortnight? Yeah, to quote our friends from across the pond, might be a good time to hear Glenn again.
The narrative about the American story, the American project, is fundamentally important. Is this a good country? Or is this a country that's founded on genocide and slavery? The impact of Western settlement in the Western Hemisphere, the European settlement in the Western Hemisphere on the native population was devastating. There's not any doubt about that. And the commerce and chattel, which was transatlantic slavery, was of a huge scale, mostly going to Caribbean and South America, but of a huge scale, and was monumental.
Subscribe. You guys haven't already.
Events that led to the American nation state. There's not any doubt about that. But the founding of the country, 1776, 1787, the creation of the United States of America was a world historic event in which the Enlightenment ideals got instantiated in government institutions. And as a matter of fact, within the century, slavery was gone. And you know what? The people who had been African chattel became citizens of the United States of America, not equal citizens, not at first. It took another century. But they became, in the fullness of time, equal citizens of the United States of America. The United States of America fought fascism in the Pacific and fought fascism in Europe and saved the world. American democracy became a beacon to quote unquote the free world. We stood down under threat of nuclear annihilation. The horror, which was the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. We have had the greatest transformation in the social status of a serfdom people, which was the what the emancipation affected and the creation of the Negro, of the African American, probably that you could find anywhere in world history. 40 million strong, the richest people of African descent on the planet by far. This is a question of narrative. Are you going to look through the lens of the United States as a racist, genocidal, white supremacist, illegitimate force? Are you going to see it for what it is? Which in the last 300 years is the greatest force for human liberty on the planet. That's worth fighting about. That these people at the New York Times lay down to a latter-day woke ideology and debase their country is despicable.
By the way, my team looked up the episode number where we fact-check Nicole Hannah-Jones. It's episode 1164 in our feed, so pretty easy to find. Okay, so that's Joy Reid. Now, I mean, while we're on the subject of lunatics on the left, we got to spend some time with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris decided, I love when she decides we need to hear from her, like we missed her. She's got things she wants to say to us, and she's there again. So
thanks, good citizen. Right. I don't watch Megan Katie like that either. Just like my second time playing her today. I really don't play her like that. But it's all good, though. I'm just showing a different perspective because it all makes sense. Gotta wake up, America, especially Black Americans. We gotta wake up, man. Can't vote for Kamala Harris because she's supposed to be black all of a sudden. Oh, Kamala black, let's vote for her. Y'all stupid. This woman don't care about nobody being black. She loved blocking people up that were smoking weed. Come on, y'all.
It's Juneteenth, and first of all, she posted this to her own Instagram.
Right, I don't trust her either, man. You know what I'm saying? She, at one point, she seemed like she was black pill, turned against Trump. You know what I'm saying? I'm just showing them saying different perspective. But other than that, it's been 3 hours and 37 minutes. So I am going to end it after this. And I love everybody.
Instagram account. We had no idea where she was. She just posted it with this.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to end it. I'll be back tomorrow, you guys. It's been 3 hours and 37 minutes. And the point to keep on, you know what I'm saying, going. I can come back tomorrow with you guys. I really appreciate you guys. We definitely growing. Growing. And I believe in unity, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter, but I believe in unity and love. I'm out here to push Trump on you guys. I'm an American first. I've been overseas. I have a passport. And I love America, period. And I love everybody. I want everybody to love each other. I pray for healing. I pray for blessings. You know, I pray that we get better leadership, you know what I'm saying, after Trump and beyond. You know, we got to stay focused, facts over feelings. Catch y'all tomorrow.